another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about UFOs, aliens, and all things weird.
Joe.
Yeah, dude. What's up, man?
Dude. Hey, good to see you, bro. You're looking fantastic.
Oh, well, you know, that's just part of it. That's part of being handsome, you know?
It's part.
Sometimes you look good, sometimes you don't, you know?
One time
you do.
One time I left a party, and then I told my friends I was with, I was like, guys, we gotta go. And they were like, why? And I was like, let's come back when I'm handsome.
Did y'all ever go back?
No.
That's tough, dude. Well, shit, man. I'm pretty excited about today.
Me too.
It's gonna be a banger of an episode for sure.
Dude, hell yeah. Let's do a quick little sponsor thing. So we just real quick, guys, just to support the podcast. This is like a trial run we're doing with Manscaped. I know, you hate hearing ads, but guys, literally, I was a customer before they reached out to us. And literally, this is just helping us. If you guys love the show and want to help us by using the code UFO Garage on Manscaped. I put the link in the description. You get 20% off and free shipping. Dude. Come on. Yeah. So a little bit about Manscaped. I was a customer before we were approached by them, and I used their ball trimmer, dude. And I liked it because it didn't like grab on my fucking pubes, man. I used the same damn trimmer from CVS for like 8 years, and I finally upgraded. It was like an Instagram ad, and I bought it, and it's amazing. And then years go by, and they, we got this little partnership going, and dude, they sent us the new one, the 4.0. Holy shit.
Pulling pubes is not cool.
It's not.
I love the 4.0.
Do you hear that?
Oh, dude, sorry. I was actually just shaving my pubes right now on the show. I wanted to show everybody how good it works. I don't know if we get pulled off. Do you want to see my balls?
Were you literally just shaving your pubes as we were talking?
I was doing. It's that easy. You can literally do a talk show and shave your pubes at the same time. It's pretty sweet.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, you could probably see it underneath the desk because of the LED light that shines the way.
Yeah, dude.
You can do it in the dark.
Yeah. That sweet ass LED light is not playing. You could literally go look for shit in the forest with this tube trimmer.
Dude, you could direct air traffic control with that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Bigfoot better watch out, dude. We're coming to shave you, man.
Coming to shave you. Everybody stop, get him!
Get him!
You ever walk into a crowded bus? That's the one thing you don't say.
Yeah, right?
Get him!
I love how every time Dog Creek shows up, we're always doing some weird shit. And he's always like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, guys, Manscaped, they're killing it right now, dude. And dude, your balls will be pleased.
They will be pleased.
They will be pleased.
And we're not really making any money off of this promo, guys. Like, this is literally just to help us out to even get the sponsorship, dude. So if you guys love the show, man, it would be awesome. It makes great Christmas presents and birthday presents.
I mean, it says Manscaped, and you may think it's not for you, but if you got a man, it's for you. I mean, let's just say we don't all need to floss while,
brushing your teeth,
Yeah. So yeah,
not everybody.
Get them when Christmas is coming up, dude. Thanksgiving's coming up. Your favorite weekend out is coming up. It's pretty sweet.
Dude, I shave my turkey every year.
Every year, dude. You gotta shave your turkey,
and it's super sexy, bro.
And they've got all these sweet other things. I actually have the crop mop stuff and the ball deodorant and the ball toner. It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Wait, what is that? Okay. I'll ask later.
You just what you do is you spray it before you go on hikes and stuff. That way, if something freaky goes down in the middle of the woods while you're on your hike, you still smell fresh. It's amazing. It's a must-have. I gotta say, they have the Cologne. And I haven't tried the razor, dude. As you can tell.
I like that.
I don't use razors very often.
Oh, I like that.
Like it.
But where do you use your razor on your butthole?
No, I don't use the razor.
Dude, I did that once.
Oh no.
It was a mistake.
I bet.
But with Manscaped, anyway, guys, if you want to support the show, we're done with the Anyway, honestly, I believe in this product. That's why we even agreed to this whole thing. So
yeah, for
check 'em
sure.
out. Yeah,
As you guys know, we're terrible at doing promos
terrible at doing ads. Yeah,
for people, but yeah, this is cool. So yeah, Tammy, you can unplug your ears again. Tammy has to plug her ears for like at least 45 minutes of every show.
Right? Yeah.
Bologna smell. Oh man, dude, let's get into this, man. Let's do this because this is an epic show.
Yeah.
I'm friggin' excited for it. Let's do it.
All right, let's bring Eric in, dude. If you don't know Eric, he's an awesome dude. His experience here, he had a really really traumatic experience happen in 2013.
It's only awesome if it doesn't happen to you.
Yes, yep. He's just a really awesome dude. We met him in 2020, right before all the Shizne happened, with, the thing that's going on all around the world. It was like the last live event Lorian Fenton put on. Joe and I were like, had our little sponsor table, and up walks Eric Mitchell, man. And we just hit it off. Freaking love the guy. We started this whole thing, this project, this documentary. It started out as just a long podcast, to tell his story because, we just love the story. Joe, I mean, you brought it to the surface, or for me at least. And we just met Eric and started down this journey of making this documentary. And meet Eric Mitchell. What's up, dude?
Oh, what's up, guys? How's the audio, visual? Everything okay?
Dude, it's great, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking good.
Wow, I totally can't hear you with these headphones, but I can hear you on my phone, so that's fine. I'll just take this thing out of my ear. I can.
Nice.
You guys are cracking me up. I'm just watching the show. I don't have a whole lot going on tonight.
Nice, dude.
Just doing this and that, and it's that time of year where a man's got to shave the best he can.
Yeah.
And you really.
Are you sponsored by Manscaped too?
Yeah, they called me before the show. No, I'm kidding. I don't know anything about it, but it is a guy problem. It's a guy problem. You don't want to go down there with a chainsaw. I mean, my God.
Definitely not. You got to be sensitive with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the boys.
Exactly right.
They're close.
Shit, man.
A lot of closeness.
I was going to mention another product, but I'm going to go with you guys. I'll order something and see how it works out.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh, dude.
Eric, dude, how the hell have you been, man?
Oh, God. Man. Shit
That's a tough question, I know.
Yeah, things get complicated, but a lot of good and bad. Yeah, definitely a lot of good and bad. When you don't base your roots in one place and really nail at it, things can uproot really fast. So things get difficult, but they get interesting too. So
right.
I can't complain too much about that. But I'm building character, and one of these days I will be as funny as you guys are on air.
You can do it right now, dude, with us, man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I can. I'm drinking apple juice.
Nice, dude.
Hell yeah.
Did you know that apple juice is nature's energy drink?
Absolutely.
Yep. It's like really good for you. It gets the body going. So I drink apple juice. I suck at drinking energy drinks. When I worked in the restaurant industry, man, I would pound Rock Stars like crazy, man, because as we all know, you are what you drink, right? And dude, I cut them out. I hadn't drunk, or whatever you want to say. I ain't drank no energy drink in like years. And then I had a Red Bull probably like 6 months ago. It's probably been like 5 years since I've had an energy drink. I had a Red Bull and I thought I was going to die. Like I felt so crappy. It was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a very high metabolism. My body mass test, the last one I had, says I burn about 1,500 calories in my sleep. So, yeah, it's extremely high. It's probably PTSD, dealing with it in my dreams and stuff like that. But it's like I'm hypersensitive to medication and anything I put in my body. And everything tastes too sweet. Anything with sugar is just too sweet. My body doesn't like it. But every now and again, hey, I like some sweets, and it's great. Red Bull, by the way, oh my God, you guys don't want to see that. It's just wow. It's incredible. I'll have to cage myself and give you an example at some time.
Oh my god, dude!
I cannot wait to see you on Red Bull, dude. You're such a chill dude.
I'm really sensitive to shit too, dude. Like I don't really take medicine. Like even like when I'm sick, like I just kind of ride it out and do my thing. But dude, a couple of months ago, Eric, I think I had talked to you, or like I was just so sick one night we were chatting, and man, I took this medicine, and like I could feel it in my body. Like I can feel like if I take an Advil or something, which is like once every 3 years, I like noticeably like I notice the difference. It's so weird. And people pop Advil all day long and like they're like, oh, I just got this headache. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like you're building a tolerance to the shit, you know? I feel like medicine probably works better if you don't take it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've got a friend of mine, man. His name is Lee. He's from England. He'd probably be mad at me for mentioning him. But he loves two things about America. He comes here from England once a year. Number one, I can't lie like that. I'm not sure which one number one is. It's either Oreos or Dunkin' Donuts. And he goes from a 45-year-old man to a 12-year-old kid the moment he gets off the plane, because he knows I'm going to give him both. But his favorite thing to watch is not our movies, not our comedies, none of that. It's our pharmaceutical commercials. He's like, I cannot believe you bloody Yanks will sit there and watch all the things that are going to happen to you, which, by the way, are all bad. And you're ready to go out and take them.
If you grow 1 to 5 more nipples, that's totally fine. Call your doctor and brag about it.
Yeah.
Is your English buddy Lee like a music guy by chance?
No, he works for the English Parliament.
Okay. Because we know in English, Lee. Damn it, what's his name? 504 Studios or something? He comes in the chat every now and then, and he's an English guy. His name's Lee.
Dude,
Alien Girl. He wrote Alien Girl's music.
Shit.
His name is Lee.
His name is Lee, though.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Flash forward, dude. Thank you again, man.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that super chat, man. Dude. So, hey, Eric, bro, it's great to talk to you. Not about business and like documentary stuff, dude. Like, it's awesome just to like chill, like catch up with you, bro. Like, I've been listening to your voice and like watching you for the past like 2 weeks, like night and day. And I'm pretty sure I can do a very good impression of you at this point.
All right. Let's hear it. We got to do it. Everybody be quiet.
I have to practice it. I'm going to have to practice it. I'll come back to you. But, dude.
I can do the helicopter for my friends. That's my Eric
friends impression. Call me tripod. Sorry, I didn't say that. I didn't say it. Dude, but hey man, it's crazy because like as I'm I this isn't like some promo thing. This is something that we have in common and we're both all three working on. But like, dude, your story when we first started talking about it, there's one thing to hear you say it, right? Because we're hearing it from the horse's mouth, but like I'm trying to navigate that and choose the right clips and order them in a way that it makes sense without, spending an entire, an hour with you, which that's kind of what it needs to get that context. But if for those listening that don't really know your story, is there some kind of like short radio like thing that you normally kind of tell people just to catch people up that don't know you and about your story really quick, and then we can kind of get into some of the stuff that I would like to ask you?
I mean, it's taken us almost 2 years to hear your story. So
yeah, seriously.
We still don't know all of it.
We could stop at just like the incident, like there was 3 initial sightings, main sightings, but like maybe we start at the incident where it knocked you down and maybe explain that for people that haven't heard that.
Well, that's incredibly like you touched on 20 parts, and I have to be quick about it. That's great, but
I know, dude. I know,
but no, it's like I didn't want to get in the public eye. I didn't want to do any of that. It got to the point where I was making some very important people very angry. And my investigator said, Eric, for your own personal safety, I want you to do radio. And I'm like, me, I can't do radio. I mean, I can't even stand up in front of my class in high school. There's no way. He said, it's for your own safety. I set up a huge show in Vegas. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's get it done. So I'm like, no. Now, this is the time I go to bed with Red Bull next to me so I can wake up and really Red Bull it out. But really there isn't. And that's the most unfortunate thing is that, you know, you get an hour, 2 hours, or maybe even 3 hours to really discuss things. Roll credits, it's over, and that is supposedly everything that happened to you. So every time you do a radio show, you're crunching more and more time down so you can try to fit more things in. So it just completely doesn't look right, and I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We also have
so much.
We also have a very a longer episode with you if people want to check that out as well. And yeah, just wanted to throw that in really quick. And yeah,
Episode
dude,
50.
I feel bad that I'm like I just literally did the thing that you are most annoyed by. Hey, tell us the highlights. Like, I don't know. I was just like, how do we catch people up? You know, getting in the mind of Eric Mitchell.
Oh man, I was so excited tonight actually for listening to Mike on the show. I hope you guys can get him back on.
Dude, me too.
But yeah, guys, you guys know I didn't believe in the subject. You know that I thought UFO people were crazy. You know, tinfoil hat, crazy people. I spent 34 years of my life that way, and woke up one morning standing outside of my apartment. This thing was just right down the street. You guys were on location, so you saw how far away it was. It wasn't far at all. I could have taken off my shoe and hit the damn thing. You know that. That was like 4 o'clock in the morning, like 9:30 that night. It was literally the same day, but it confuses you because it's like 4 in the morning. Now we're at 9 at night. It seems like 2 different days, but it was literally the same day. But this thing was it kind of just slowly turned on, very slow, and turned back off, and it was moving in a horseshoe shape all the way around me, and it was ominous. It was almost like a feline to prey type of motion, to where it was. It gave me that kind of ominous impression. You know, like, what is this thing? It's showing, intelligent control. It's obviously doing something at me, and I don't know what to do. My knees were locked up. My hands were shaking. Guys, I couldn't move. I mean, it's not like, if I saw a top secret, some type of military flight, top secret stuff, I would be overwhelmed, but I'd still be really cool about it because I'm so freaking laid back. I'm the kind of guy where I'll see the final bomb come over the country and I'll be like, well, that's it. I'm just that laid back. But this had me shook on the inside out. This is no military drone or anything like that. This thing was almost like it was Photoshop in front of my eyes. I couldn't believe it. And for it to, just be right above my head, right above my apartment, one story, flash at me 2 more times and take off, like, as to communicate. And by the way, it shot off like a bullet. So I would expect, a shockwave that would rip my body apart. I would expect, air displacement to blow me 15 feet back. I mean, you're thinking about speeds that are ridiculous, and nothing happened. Like, literally nothing happened. So, by the third sighting, I didn't even know it was there. I felt a vibration above my head. It was like somebody turned it up to 1,000,000 plus. It's really difficult to explain what that felt like, but like a rock and roll speaker, except times 1,000,000. If you've been in front of a really loud speaker, and you can't hear anything else or perceive anything else in the world around you except that vibration, times that by 1,000,000 and let it knock you to the ground, and you're being killed. This is the last moment of your life. That's what it felt like. But I stayed in the house. Like, I literally wouldn't go outside after dark. like, when we're kids or something, dark is a scary time. I can't explain that thinking, but that's what that thinking was, when you're a kid. And even to this day, if something's going on, I'll pull the blanket over my head like a 5-year-old. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm just not going to lie. I get scared. I get, that I feel that way. But
right.
I have a question for you, Eric, real quick. That feeling of that's it. I'm gonna die. Like feeling those last seconds, right? Usually people who have those types of experiences will end up, they're like, after that experience happens, not UFO related or anything, just a near death or something really scary happens to them where they feel like they're seconds away from death. This is the end. After that experience happens, a lot of them have like this new take on life, and it's like this fucking beautiful like a scenario where their life changes, and like, oh, I was so close to death, I appreciate everything. But it sounds like in your case, you didn't die, but it wasn't exactly this new outlook on life in the way that you wanted it to be. It was almost like, well, that's fucking scary, and I don't know what to do now, right? It's almost like it didn't end at that. It kept going.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can have that feeling of a new lease on life, certainly, but my trophy was succumbed by other things. When I pushed off the ground and I was mad, I was fighting back. I was pushing off the ground as if a magnet was holding me down. And I looked up and the object was just above me. It flashed twice and shot the opposite way it did the night before. Now, I know if we watch movies or something like that, the person immediately gets up and they run in their house or they call the cops. Or no, buddy, I laid there. I laid there for 20 minutes because your primal mind just kind of kicks in, and it's like you're afraid of the sky. If you move, are you going to be noticed? Is it going to come back? You have 9 seconds to make it to that door. Is that going to be your last 9 seconds? So this is kind of the primal mind that kicks in of, how am I going to creep through the woods and survive this giant cat type of feeling. And, if that attack made you feel like a tiny ant, how significant are your choices are right here and right now? It's a very, thing. I used to think, wow, that was stupid. Why did I just lay there? But, sometimes I sit with myself and I just think about it and I'm like, no, I probably would do the same thing 2 times in a row because, at that moment I was afraid of the sky. And quite frankly, guys, it's a big sky, and I didn't know what it was, but I saw how fast it can move. There's no escaping that. There's no getting away,
I've got a question for you, Eric, man. As I'm going through this footage of you telling your story, and I've got to say this really quick, like, you're very consistent. Everything is like, bro, it's making my job really easy because I'm editing this video. It's like, shit. I mean, you say things sometimes in a different perspective, but it's always very spot on, dude. I just really wanted to say that really quick. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, you did speak about this predatory kind of prey mentality, and before just tonight, and then in your interview for the documentary, you kind of went into this story about where you're bellied up against your Cadillac and you see this object. Maybe this is like a couple months or weeks later, and then that Black Hawk helicopter, unmarked helicopter, comes by, whizzing by out of nowhere, and you said it sounded like it had some kind of mute button, like it just, like, you hear helicopters for like a mile away, bro. Like, they're loud as frick, right? And
exactly.
Like, dude, I used to live by Fort Hood. I know what a hell you could feel it through your house, bro.
Yeah,
I live 2 miles from Fort Hood.
And this kind of answers Jay Duranio's question. He asked, an apartment complex? Did anyone else see this? So this Black Hawk helicopter story will kind of answer that question, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, let's go. Let's take it that direction then. Yeah. So maybe speak to that. Like, how many other people, Eric, if you want to go down that road?
Well, I think by the time that Christy, she had missing time 2 times with me. By the time she saw it, there was only 5 or 6 units left. She was oblivious. She worked nights. So she heard about this phenomenon. She heard from other people. But what was it? It was like, guys, there was like 20 apartments on one side and there were 3 trailers on the other. I was literally the last person to move from that entire neighborhood. That's how scared people were. The
But these
first thing that scared
helicopters, sorry, but these helicopters, people were seeing these helicopters, and like not only
And the craft.
and the objects, these bright orange, sometimes they were blue, but these helicopters were chasing them, right?
Yeah, yeah. They were showing up on location. The first time it showed up, it really stands out in my mind. I'm basing everything off of memory. It's not like I have a big memoir that I wrote everything down. Of course, my investigator, has, but it was me, Dan, 2 of my kids, and we were bellied up. That's all you can do, because we're outside. I didn't smoke in the house because of the kids, and the adults would hang out, maybe have some beer, smoke cigarettes, because they didn't smoke in the apartments either. It was kind of a rule, but people break the rules. But this thing just came down, and all you can really do is have that thought process of belly up to the car. That way you have that much something in front of you. And we were just all standing there looking at it. You can't look left. You can't look right. When this thing is 40 feet in diameter and it's rippling like the sun and it's below the tree line, you're not looking anywhere. I can promise you that. Why didn't you grab your phone and take a picture? Well, I've taken pictures, but in moments like that, you stand the hell still and you marvel at what the hell you're looking at. It's not something that looks even real, at all. But all of a sudden, this helicopter came from nowhere up over the trees. It dipped below the tree line behind us. The object immediately took off the opposite direction. I mean, gone. I couldn't even tell where it went. It was just gone. We all turned around and the spotlight hit us right in the face. I mean, blinded us. And I had to put my hand over my hat because it was blowing my head off my head. And I was actually in relief because here's some officials that know what's going on. These are, either military or something. Somebody knows what's going on. So the helicopter kind of blinded us for a little bit. Once I could see, he took the spotlight off our faces and he went down the street, and then he went off into the yard in front of us. And I guess they were looking for other people because it spotlighted the whole area. And by the time my eyes kind of cleared up, I can see this man's face through the glass. That's how close he was from the ground. We were staring face to face with a helicopter, and I can see these big goggles on his face, and, I can see the nose and the mouth and everything like that. And he rose up, he turned around and went back the same way he came. And it's the sound, though, I mean, it dissipated. It was gone.
I've got to, yeah. So I love that. Also,
Jim Goodall has told us about helicopters that are extremely quiet.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I think you would know a little bit about the sound of helicopters.
That's right.
Eric, you said.
I told my daughter immediately. I said, "Sweetie, go in there, brew some coffee. The military knows we're going to find out stuff tonight." But they never showed up. Nobody showed up.
Right. So I just want to back up real quick and maybe just talk about, I mean, this can have nothing to do with your story specifically, Eric, but I've been really paying attention a lot lately to experiencers and the connection between the experiencer and whether it be a physical craft or a light. And I'm not saying a light isn't physical. I'm just, some people see saucers, some people see lights.
Yeah.
But there seems to be this connection where the experiencer, you feel that this thing is alive. And I know that Christy talks about it in her interview, and I really love that idea, man. If you could speak to that a little bit.
Gosh, a little bit? How long is the show?
As long as you want it to be.
As long as you want it to be.
Yeah.
I believe the lesson.
So what do you want, the quantum physics? Do you want what universities know? Do
Let
you want my? I mean, I personally, in the beginning, I felt like this was a lie. And, after I got over my fear, because there was a full week where I wouldn't go outside. Guys, I smoke. I don't do it around the kids. I went to the bathroom, got under the fart fan, sat under the toilet and turned this thing on. I was not going outside after dark. And, it took a full week for, Dan, my buddy, to constantly text me for me to come to the door, and I would hold on to the damn door handle just in case I saw something. I would jump inside, close the door, lock it, and Dan would be screwed. I mean, that's just how I felt. And it took a long time, me having this really overpowering feeling, of just, man, I'd be cooking bacon, I'd be going to the bathroom, climax of a movie, just whatever is keeping me 100% busy at home. I'd drop everything and walk straight to the door. And after a while, my kids would grab cameras. They know if I look like a damn zombie and I'm going straight toward the door, that there's something outside. And I'd know exactly where to look, because there is that connection. And, I really want to talk about so many of these things that didn't make sense to me because it's just, so woo-woo, non-scientific. And man, over the years, I've learned to meditate, spirituality, and get in touch with these things. Philosophy, some of the most beautiful things, doesn't need science, for an explanation. We can just enjoy them. But I needed answers to where I wouldn't sound like a total nutcase talking about what happened to me. Maybe just brush me under the rug and my existence doesn't matter to the world. But my thoughts are, screw you. I'm coming right back with it, because I'm not going to be one statistic. I'm going to do something about this. This is not over for me. So, but yeah, I mean, over time I did learn that what you see on the outer construct of these objects, this glowing matter, or a lot of people have different terminology for it, but from what I've come to understand, it's made of the same electricity that fires in your synapses when you're thinking. So if you can kind of understand quantum entanglement, spooky action at a distance. Hang on, I could do way better of a job than pointing a finger at another finger. But and the battery's dead. Wow, the battery's dead.
No!
Oh, never mind. Contact will look a lot more like that.
Cool.
If you think, most people, they have that idea. They're like, man, I just had this thought to look up, and there it was. And it's not a coincidence, especially not 99.9% of the time. I mean, famous people say it, all kinds of people say it. I just thought to look up, and it's the case all the time.
Like,
And
I
it's
just had a
because
feeling.
there
I
is-
feel like something was watching, or like something told me to look
Yeah.
up. Dude, that's so common, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what I'm gathering is that there's some sort of communication, and we're at the beginning stages of scratching the surface of figuring this stuff out. And what I find interesting, Eric, and I hope we can, dude, I mean, everybody listen to this. This is like, we're figuring this stuff out on the fly. Like, we don't know the answers to this thing. We're really just trying to figure this whole thing out. That's why Harvard and Stanford are head of included you in this study in a way, because they're trying to figure this shit out too. Like, what I'm interested in, man, is that I love the fact that they say, we don't know what this is, let's figure this out. I first off love that. The second part is we can only do an experiment based off of the things we know. It's all about relativity. So when we say that these entities or these orbs are creating the same amount of electricity or energy that is analogous to our synapses, is it electricity only because we're measuring it with an electronic device? Or could it be some other source of power that we just don't understand yet?
It's quantum entanglement is a placeholder word. That's in science. When things act that way, Einstein's spooky action at a distance, it's a placeholder word. The Mayo Clinic, they have an electromagnetic wand, and they're waving it over human beings. It made it to animal trials, now to human trials, where they're waving it over the head. Now, there's a space in between your brain and this wand. There's a skull in between there, but there's interaction going on that is helping heal the neurokinetics of the brain. It's the same principle, but at a possibly further distance. Now, when you get into Dr. Gary Nolan at Stanford University, he isolated on a part of the brain that he now calls the antenna, the part of the brain that he believes are affected by these UFOs at a distance or up close. Most importantly, this blue light that fills up these people's room, or the blue beam that knocks the warhead out of the sky. It's the same informational transference system that's built biologically through a very sliver spectrum of the electromagnetic field that's related to consciousness itself. If you, I wish I can give you a reference, maybe the EEP report from Lockheed Martin, but that was locked up in 1952, guys, when they were studying the electromagnetic field, the future of it, and they found this little sliver that's related to consciousness that could be a big war problem. So it got locked up a long time ago. But consciousness itself, or that blue spectrum that fires in your mind when you think, is actually related to a tiny spectrum of the electromagnetic field. I wear these glasses after I was knocked down by that object. The funny thing about these special glasses is I can buy them at a dollar store. Why? Because any scientist that works with magnets really knows if you get too close to a high-powered magnet, it's going to push and pull on your eyes at the same exact frequency. So you're going to be able to see far away and close up with only reading glasses and not prescription. So these came along the next day, the very next day. You know,
I thought you were going to say you had blue spectrum glasses, but you're saying, because I have some too, because computer screen, but you're saying you are farsighted and nearsighted because of this event, that this object, you know, when it knocked you down, shot that blue beam at your skull, your vision, you know, changed in a very unique way.
Yeah. I've always been 20/20 until that night. Always. Every time. Perfect testing. My mom, my dad, they're both in their 60s. They don't wear glasses. They're in their 60s. You know?
Every time I hear somebody tell their story, I always get like this weird feeling like, what the hell? Like, I'm nearsighted and farsighted too.
Are you serious?
every single time. Yeah, that's why I wear these glasses. Because I'm nearsighted and farsighted too. But every time I hear somebody talk about their story, I'm like, I have that. It's almost like WebMDing yourself for like a sickness, just like in ufology. You know what I'm saying? Listening to people's stories, and you're like, oh shit, do I got that? You know?
Do I got that though, dude?
Do I got that too?
Do I got that though, dude?
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird, right? I mean, like, my dad has had like some wild like little things happen to him. He's a military guy. My grandfather has seen something. He's a military guy. Now I'm born. Saw some wacky shit. I don't know what it is, but I am nearsighted and farsighted. Every time I walk out of my door, I have this compelling feeling to look up and to the left. Nothing's ever there, but I fucking do it every day, and I stand there for like 5 minutes before I go to work. It's only in the morning time. I don't know what it is. It's so weird, but like every time I hear these stories, dude, I'm like literally WebMDing myself. Like, did something happen to me and I just don't know about it? Like, it's so weird. It's so strange.
But you know, there was a time where researcher and ufologist Grant Cameron, you know, I check him out every once in a while. This guy is on it. You know, he really does a great job, in my opinion, trying to chase down the truth and look at things. And, you know, there was once where, you know, he was talking about this portal that's opening up and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I'm going to click off this and go watch something else. And I didn't realize it was a part of something that was about to happen to me, because I got a phone call through Facebook from some guy named Joe. And I'm thinking, another, you know, I don't want to do another show right now. But he calls me up and he says, quick, tell me everything that happened to you. And I'm like, okay, you know, so I talked about some things, and he stopped me and started laughing. And I said, look, man, I'm not going to do your show if you want to heckle me. This is, you know, it's the real thing. I'm sensitive about it. And he said, no, I'm not a radio show host. I'm a scientist. And he said, some guys here from the CIA to look at one of my prototypes. And they said, that reminds us of the Eric Mitchell case. these weren't just any CIA guys. These guys were high up in the phenomenology desk at the Pentagon, the 5th floor of the Pentagon, with the aviary. Over 200 people in the CIA that have been studying these phenomenons for decades, you know. And so Joe obviously wanted to hear from me, and he did. He got really excited. His IQ is so high that you have to understand it's different talking to someone like that. He's absolute genius. If you look him up, everybody poops on him online. He got like two DWIs after his UFO experience, so that made him a terrible person. Yeah. So yeah, a hard partier, but genius of a man. I respect especially his science. Oh my God. But I'm looking at one of his prototypes because we ended up talking hours that day, and ended up opening up my computer, and I'm putting codes in so I can see prototypes. And one of these devices actually raised up, slowed down, and fired a blue beam out of it, and then landed. And I said, why did you slow down the tape? To show the precession. I understand it's really important. A very particular precession of the electromagnetic field is important to its drag. And he said, no, Eric. He said, it did it by itself. And I said, it's not plugged into a computer. It's not plugged into a wall. You're telling me just 2 magnets knew to slow down and discharge this energy. And he said, exactly. And I said, well, that was consciousness that came out of what you were doing. And he said, yeah, it's related to that. He said, where did you get your degree in applied physics? And I said, well, the library, because, I've devoured that. And he said, most of the people I work with, Eric, have no idea what this substance is, but it is exactly that. So independently, I can look at, different colleges. I can look at what the experiencer is going through. I've worked with over 3,000 people so far worldwide, over 120 different countries. Then I can look at Gary Nolan's work and put all this together and understand that this stuff has the ability. Now, Stanford, we could look at the caudiputamen basal ganglia area. These two are working together to make an antenna. It is an amazing thing. Did you guys see the artist rendition I sent you?
Yeah, you sent me that, Joe. I don't think. Okay, you saw that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. A lot of people, they'll look at an experiencer and say, "Wow, that's a crazy tinfoil." Like I used to do. I used to call these people crazy. And when you see this phenomenal brain activity, and then you go through the entire study and everything in it, it's like, oh my gosh, this interaction, whether it's happening or not, and that's a really important statement, by the way, whether it's happening or not is incredible when you look at the human mind and watch that baby fire up, because these are not the crazy people in the world. They're some of the brightest you'll ever find. And socially not accepted, we're never going to show the internal workings that we're actually worth. But it's just incredible.
Hey, real quick, I just want to answer this question. Apollo 11 was saying, who's he talking about? Somehow I missed it. He's talking about after Grant Cameron. So right now, Eric is talking about a guy named Joe, who's a scientist. I don't know if we want to say his last name, but he's a scientist. He's pretty well known. I mean, I found him on Facebook. So
yeah.
And then Fat Bass wants to know, what was the prototype of exactly? I mean, we've seen the video. We kind of know what it is, but I guess that is kind of a good question. Like, we've seen it and we know what it is, but like, what is the prototype?
Yeah, you mentioned it's
2 magnets,
right? But like, and then you said a beam of blue light was shot out and it was described as consciousness. Yeah, I would love to know more about that.
Well, let's make short work of this and long at the same time. I know there's a lot of researchers that probably follow this subject, so do your homework when we're done with the show. Number one, you want to look at InterNASA. InterNASA is the International Academy of Science and Arts. I know that kind of sounds like something Tom DeLonge was involved in, but no, it was born in 1995, and yes, they were all involved together. Maybe not Tom DeLonge, but the other guys were involved. That'll get you going all night long, because how long has this been going on? I've got the original email. from where it all started. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't talk much in public, but me and you guys, we'll talk, about whatever you want to. But there's a history there with disclosure. The New York Times, the whole 9 yards. This whole thing was set up long before all this went down. There's that one thing, and I forgot what direction I was going to go because.
So we were talking about. Sorry, I said something dumb, and I probably. I probably had your goofy brain go like you wanted to make a joke, but then like I distracted you. So sorry about that.
No. Okay, so INTERNASA, International Academy of Arts and Science, is a group I respect. None other even close to the Jason Society. These men are a group of geniuses. They're scientists. They are going to put the world into the next level of technology.
And they're the guys that did the prototype.
Joe alone did it. I can't give credit to anybody else because they didn't know what he was doing. Once he got the prototype number 9, he decided that there was something there. Obviously, there was something there. When prototype 10, Acceleron Motor, I know it's a geek thing, but not motor, but motor, I've been corrected. Acceleron 9 Motor actually showed the right precession. Now I'm giving away secrets. But once it showed the right precession to eliminate the electromagnetic drag, it sped up 10 times every rotation. Can you imagine that kind of?
Are we talking about like a free energy like device that is able to orbit without any input or output? Is like some kind of I know I don't want you to give away too much. I mean, I don't know what NDAs you're on, but
no, we're talking more like energy source that can get us to the moon in 2 minutes, Mars in 5. Estimated to have the same type of turbulence as a high school bus. That's what we're talking about.
Motherfuckers are bumpy, dude. You ever rode a high school bus in the back?
No, wait, no, you're in Texas, man. I'm talking more like Beverly Hills.
Okay. So it's pretty smooth. All right.
You know firsthand that the roads in Texas, at least our small towns,
especially where we live, dude, we have craters in our roads the size of the moon.
Yeah. I think I have a flat spot on my head, not so you can set your beer, but from hitting the roof of the damn car, man. I'll tell you what. Anyway, Eric, so
this after the Acceleron 9 motor proved, it went black, went completely black. CIA oversight, all that stuff. But Grant Cameron actually turned out to be right. Because one of the prototypes was spinning in such a way, and it created this blue type sphere in front of everyone, and it almost looked like you can stick your hand through it. And that's why Grant Cameron was talking about a portal. He was really excited about it. That was one of these prototypes, but he wasn't able to converse with Joe personally or anything like that. These DOD guys and all that stuff, they have very little interest in, ufology and the entertainment. They want to know the truth about, what's going on. But
it sounds kind of like, sorry, dude. It sounds kind of like the movie Contact, where they build that big sphere and then they drop the ball in the middle of it, and it's those rotating magnets that are like creating this thing.
Yeah. Well, no, these movies don't pull this out of their imagination. They pull it out of consultants that really want to get information out. But here's the thing, Ben, Joe, Eric, we all build a garage together, and then we create a UFO. CIA finds out, they show up, they're like, we have oversight on you, and we'll put you in prison or have you killed immediately. So it's done for us. It's over. Eisenhower's farewell address talked about the science and tinkering in our garage being overseen by the military industrial complex. If you go back and watch his final farewell address. But I do have to add, you can look up INTERNASA as far as they've went on YouTube, and you can see the prototypes up to Acceleron Motor 9, and then it went black. It went absolutely black. And even the conversations in there, you can see Joe saying, this thing can lift 22 pounds. Beforehand, it was lifting over 200 pounds with one tiny motor. Now the motor, so you got to know to look for these things. And I've been on that road, so I know what it's like.
So, okay. I kind of want to switch gears here, guys, because Eric, I don't know how much you can say and how much you can describe, but I kind of want to go in through this, Eric. We're friends on TikTok, right? Like, I'm on TikTok a lot. And I
Gay.
wait, can't say that. But dude, I sent you this video. I don't know if you saw it, but I don't know. It was like two totally separate ideas. And then I feel like I made some sort of a connection. And this goes back to your experience with the sound. Well, it's not your experience. It's a thing you can do. We recorded it for the documentary. You can make a noise, a vibration with in your head, bro. Like, we got it like on camera and like recorded it with professional microphones. We can't explain how you're making that vibration, but there's more to this real quick. Sorry,
someday I'll make a believer out of you.
Honestly, I think I'm more of a believer than I was even before we captured it. I was kind of skeptical, dude. I mean, I love you and I trust you. And I was just like, let's just see what happens. And dude, after catching it on film and recording it, like,
saying I can make a noise in my brain is like saying I can fart sprinkles. Fucking, I gotta see that. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. I mean, there's no way to explain it. It's kind of like somebody trying to explain what getting a tattoo is like. It's like, I can tell you about it, but you're never gonna know unless you experience it yourself. And sitting in the room that I'm sitting in right now, it happened.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, well, I don't want to go too far into that, but guys, anyway, so moving on, I watched this video and then I made this connection, and this dude was talking about, I wish I knew the guy's name. I would give him a shout out, but it was a guy on TikTok. He was talking about this book that's talking about Kundalini chakra energy, and that your pineal gland, right? The Egyptians made like the Eye of Ra, apparently, like after that. And it was like this, everybody that knows about the pineal gland, it's a big deal. It's like the center of consciousness, right? And there's all kinds of conspiracy theories out there that like fluoride calcifies your pineal gland and all that. I don't know the science. I'm just a doctor scientist. But
you gotta keep that clean, man. You gotta keep that area of your brain absolutely clean. Let's go ahead and look at the pyramid in your mind's eye for a second. You're gonna see, all the stuff at the bottom, and then you're gonna see these lines going up to the king and queen's chamber. The same way the brain works. If you look at the Eye of Horus, it is the representation of the center of the mind. And what you want to follow is the queen's chamber all the way up to the cauda putamen basal ganglia, where the energy actually shoots out. And, that's a great representation of what they knew back then. And that's what your pineal gland does. I mean, it's literally connected to the non-locality of the brain. And I know I can get a lot of people smirking, but that's fine. That information didn't come from me. That came from the most prestigious universities in America, and it will come from more once they're willing to look. So, people can poke and stuff like that at me, but
if I'm smirking, it's because I'm getting chills, dude, because it's like, shit.
That's a theory you don't hear on the pyramids.
Love that. I love it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's literally not. But if you can think about that long enough, it'll blow your mind. But in these studies, you can find, random psychic ability, always empathy, always empathy. And the most important part is decision making, where you can put someone under an MRI and you can give them a decision, and you'll see the left brain doing this and the right brain doing that, and pros and cons and yada, yada, yada. And then they come up with the answer. Now you take the experiencer with the antenna and ask them a question, make this decision. And the right brain and left brain doesn't do anything. The antenna fires up, and then they tell you the answer. There is no neurological evidence that anything happens except it came from somewhere else. And that is just incredible. That is non-locality of consciousness. That is also precognition. So I woke up this morning. I had a dream last night, and I wouldn't dare ask this person to speak for me in any way, but it's just a common part of the experiencer's life. Not just Eric Mitchell, but these experiencers are sharing beds with people. They can't tell what they go through. But I had a dream about someone I care about very much. I woke up, I picked up the phone, I said, "You got to have surgery now." Okay, that was this morning. Okay, and I told the person where the surgery needed to be done, how urgent it was. There was problems with certain areas that were underlying that weren't going to be able to find. And this person laughed, and they said, "I just scheduled for that surgery yesterday. How in the hell did you know? I didn't even tell my parents yet." So it's not, I guess movies and all these entertainment things kind of paint over. I mean, if you and I were to watch X-Men and then come out in my living room, I'd be boring as hell. You'd rather talk to Ben or Joe. I'd be boring as hell. He does that stupid thing with stupid brain.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Do it. Eric, do it, dude.
Come on. All my friends are here.
I brought my mom, dude.
Sure.
No, you guys would do the thing. I know you would. But I'm just waiting to show up to your house and there's a block party with a bunch of stethoscopes.
Yeah.
But
we're passing that. Yeah.
Here's your cup of water.
Pass them out.
Here's the stethoscope.
Yeah. Dude, so hey,
Yeah,
before we get too far down, we changed. I kind of want to back up 1 second, Eric, because dude, I gotta ask you, man. As we're talking about the pineal gland, this dude is talking about the chakras
Mesopotamia.
in the Mesopotamia.
In Mesopotamia?
In the
No, I
Filipino
cleaned my
tubes.
Mesopotamia up. I manscaped.
Yeah.
I use Manscaped to clean the Filipino tubes. And okay. Okay.
Manscaped.
Brought to you by Mousecop. Mousecop's cream is best. Okay, so this dude's talking about the vibration as you bring your energy up through all your chakras, and it finally gets to your pineal gland. That you were telling me that, and I thought this was crazy, but I also again, dude, I'm just being my skeptical self. I want to listen, and over time, I believe you, dude. What you had said a year ago is something that I'm just starting to grasp. And this dude kind of backed this whole thing up, bro. He's talking about what you were telling me, the piezoelectric effect with the crystals, this crystalline structure that makes up, and dude, I'm probably butchering this, but the crystalline structure that makes up the pineal gland, you can cause it to vibrate if you focus your energy enough. And that, do you think that's the sound that you're making? Is that, because you never said that, but I mean,
you butchered the hell out of that. But yeah, I mean,
yes,
I want you to be my next spokesman, because everybody else is saying, what is the caudate putamen and basal ganglia and quantum this, and not everyone gets to the point. But yeah, I mean, every cell in your body has a crystalline substance called magnetites. And magnetites have a piezoelectric effect that cause an electromagnetic bubble around your cells. So essentially, this is the consciousness of your cell. You ever skin your knee and have to go, hang on, guys, I've got to fix the knee first, and then I'll catch up with you. No, your cells know exactly what to do, and they replicate because they're consciousness. They're independent consciousness from you, but as a whole at the same time. So I just described the entirety of existence. So how this works is the piezoelectric vibration causes the consciousness around the bubble. So everything inside knows. If you ever look under an electron microscope, you can see these little guys just communicating and hanging out and smoking joints and drinking beers and doing whatever they need to do to get the job done. And they do that independently of who we are or our thought process or anything like that. Sorry, guys, I'm losing juice. But so is the same way as your brain. You know, your pineal gland possesses this type of ability. Now it siphons out into the antenna. Maybe one of you guys can put it on the show and show the representation. You know, the cartoon I sent you. That way, people can get a better look at what that is. But it fires out like a Faraday page. And it's where it ends up is non-local. It's not part of the brain. So it's blowing the minds of some of the smartest people in the world. Dr. Gary Nolan, he has 6 PhDs. How do you have time to do that? But if you guys excuse me, I got to take off for like 15, 20 seconds. You can laugh behind my back, make funny faces or whatever, but I got to find a battery pack for this phone. Or
okay.
Yeah, dude, no worries, bro.
All right. Yeah, I didn't plan on jumping on so early, but I saw the show wasn't working out too well. So,
dude, I really appreciate it, man. You saved it. We were thinking about scrapping it, so thanks, man. Well, let us know when you're ready, brother.
Yeah, I'll get a battery pack and be right back. I might manscape for a second or two, so just ignore the.
Okay,
it's quick and easy, man. That one time I was abducted by aliens, they said pizza rolls slap unless they got bananas in them.
Oh hell!
Wait, popcorn.
Where did the bananas thing come from, dude?
Because one of them doesn't like bananas and the other doesn't like popcorn. And they both
talking about like different families of pizzas.
It's like, I swear to God, anytime we do a show, Ben never remembers the show. Like never. It's like as soon as like we hit off, he forgets the entire show and we're on to the next week. I can literally remember every show we've done, I think.
Oh, my name's Joe. I'm so gonna remember things. My name's Joe.
I'm just saying.
I sound just like you, dude.
It was like a 20-second. All right, 20 seconds. It was like a 20-minute thing that we did.
You're talking about bananas?
How they don't like bananas.
That's dumb. Why would we ever talk about that?
And popcorn. What do you mean? Why would we ever talk about that?
Why would anybody listen to that?
That's usually exactly the kind of stuff we talk about.
Oh, dude. Shit. I thought we were about to say the same thing.
Hey,
pizza roll slap, dude.
Do you want to, I don't know. Should I text you this? Do you want to?
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I will. Let's. I will. Okay. Well, Joe's not moving. I was giving you time. Wait, well, I'm bringing you back in.
Oh, well,
I thought you were gonna partake in a extracurricular activity.
Oh no! I was gonna ask if everybody had seen the new trailer yet.
Oh, I thought you like talking about like. I mean, we could do that
tiny
too.
Dicks. Is that what you thought I was doing? Gonna suck some tiny dicks?
So small. Okay. So yes. Yeah, that one time, zero memory. Yes. Oh, with the episode with them, we did talk about bananas because Bree didn't. Yeah. Sorry.
And Jamie didn't like popcorn.
My bad. My beezy.
It's okay, fool.
My beezy, fool. Hey, fool, that's my beezy. All right. Hey, looks like Eric's back.
It's all good, fool.
Wait, hold on. Apollo said, fact or faked? If you put a kernel of popcorn in your butt, then run a mile, it will pop.
Fact.
It's got to be fact, right?
Sounds like
that
much
friction, dude.
Sounds like a question for
friction.
I don't know.
Wait, what does Big Willie say? What was STD's loop? What does that mean? What's he talking about? Okay.
Oh man, guitar slanger. What's up, buddy?
Tim F. Hail Tim F.
We see you in there, dude. What's up, man?
Tim
He's got to
F.
take off. We'll be hearing from you soon. All right.
Yes. Also, wait, who's Mr. Is there a person named Mr. Smood in this thing? What is this? Mr. Smood. I need to find this person. I love that name.
I haven't seen him, Mr. Smood.
Hey, my name's Mr. Smood. If you have a substitute teacher called Mr. Smood, dude, I would.
Hello, my name is Mr. Smood.
Hey guys, my name is Mr. Smood. Love that. Love that.
Me too. Hell
So smooth. Okay, Eric's back.
yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. I will try to do my Joe. You might need to be in control of showing people's chats because I can't pay attention to two things at once.
I can't. I have no control over on this end.
Okay.
Only you have all the control, dude. Usually when I'm in studio with you, I control them a little.
It's too much. I don't deserve this much power.
I don't want it. You know what, dude? You're a regular George Washington, bro. Got all the power and you don't want it.
I mean, I'll take it. Sure.
He was like, man, I don't even want to be president.
I don't even want this, dude. Take the wig, man. You know that George Washington, that was his actual hair?
Was it? Hey, pimping ain't easy, man.
Dude! And you know that.
That's what that song is about. It's about George Washington's hair, because pimping ain't easy.
It's not, dude. Try to get them curls every goddamn day. Try to look.
Is Eric here or not?
He is here. He's here.
Oh.
He's here.
He said like 3 times Eric's here.
Well, we were doing a thing.
We were doing a thing with the stuff and the things.
Oh, you know, that one comment just blew my mind because, you know, I often wonder things like, why are they called apartments when they're all so close together? Or are vegetarians allowed to eat animal crackers, you know, and bring up corn and butts. You know, this is a problem. You know, if you don't eat corn for 3 weeks, go to the bathroom. There's a piece of corn in there. Messes up your whole morning. Like, yeah, there's a mystery. And now we're going to do an external popcorn thing. Really? I can't handle these. I can't. I just can't. How am I going to sleep after that? I have to figure that out.
Eric, you said, how am I supposed to live through my day with that mystery?
Somebody's going to have to test it.
Somebody's going to have to tell me what the fuck is up with this corn kernel. Oh, my God. That was awesome.
Tomorrow morning, everybody's going to see me take off jogging. They're not going to have any idea that it's the science that's going to better humanity. You know?
Yeah, dude. And eventually, at some point, running down the road, you're going to do like this little hop because a kernel popped in your ass. You're like, whoa, it does work.
They're going to be talking about like, oh, Eric, yeah, that guy who skips every morning. Oh, no. Let me tell you, he's not skipping. He's popping.
He's popping popcorn.
Popping popcorn.
On and popping.
With his butt.
Does he eat it afterwards? Of course he does.
Of course
he uses Manscaped, dude. That's why. Oh, dude.
Oh my God. Big Willie is Mr. Smood. Okay. Is Mr. Smood a real name? I feel like this made up.
Mr. Smood. Yeah, it's a made up name. Somebody's got that name, but yes, also it is a made up name.
Mr. Smood.
It sounds like a Muppets character, you know, Mr. Smood. Oh yeah. Where did we leave off, dude?
Jokes. That was awesome. Bad.
Oh shit.
Dude, okay, I know where we left off. There's a spider on my desk. All right. So Eric, we're talking about this vibration, man, that happens in the pineal gland. And maybe do you think that's what's happening with that vibration you're able to make with your head, or do you think it's something else? Like, I know we can't say 100%, but like, does that make it, I guess, more palatable to know that there's like other things that kind of collide with that same idea that lead? Like, I feel like I'm like connecting like Charlie Day connecting dots, man. Like, what do you think about that?
There's about 3,000 dots to connect, you know, going back 3 to 5 to 10,000 years, you know, when it comes to all this stuff. India is way ahead, not to mention that they don't live in a social stigma that would push their minds away from understanding these things, which is why quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement is #1 in India. These guys have us just blown the frig away. I mean, they're doing a great job. These are the people that are going to have time travel long before we do because they understand these things. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you put an average person in an EEG, you're going to get 7.38 hertz all the time, every day, no problem. You know, I've got close friends of mine. They they're in the business. They do EEGs all the time. And you put a quintessential experiencer in an EEG, you're going to have 30 hertz almost every time. Sometimes 50, sometimes even 100. I was asked to try it at purpose and started out at 30. 1,590 is what I did on purpose. So that's the amount of control you can literally have over the synopsis in your mind. Now, if that's possible, and you disregard your cultural conditioning, and you disregard your biological patternness that has been built in your mind your entire life, and just leave all that alone and be consciousness in itself, no one's going to believe what you perceive when you look at the world. They can't. They don't have that ability. So, branching to that is a really philosophical way of trying to reach out for someone to understand. But there's no way unless you actually are able to reach that concept. And then how do you go to the grocery store? How do you go to the gas station? How do you build relationships? How do you get close to people after you have that incredible separation from everything else? First and foremost, you learn to kind of subside and live alongside that idea that you're separate but innerly connected to everything else that there is as you go on. But you're surrounded by people that are indoctrinated by a system that wants to control them in the first place. So the biggest conversation you're going to have throughout the day is the new Dorito, flaming hot chip, or what's going on with football or Honey Boo Boo or reality TV. And when, in a sense, you have to extend yourself to understand the importance of that, you also want to reach people that want to go a little bit further in thought process and get into things that are more important and valued when it comes to the universe itself. We literally waste consciousness on things that are manufactured for us to pay attention to instead of being our own entity.
So, dude, I mean, that's beautiful. I feel like, go ahead.
The idea of like something happening to you and then like losing that connection with what normal people, I say normal, but like, I mean, not normal, but people who haven't had the experience, right? I mean, losing that connection with all of those people is gotta be just, I can't even imagine it, right? Because I find that like the more that I dig into this, the more that I learn, without even having an experience, I've somewhat lost a connection with your regular people, if we could say, right? And it's like,
well, you've had an experience, but like not to the extent,
kind of a distance, like, oh, look at that, that's crazy, and it disappears, like, even nothing to the extent of like what Eric has had. So like, I'm thinking on like terms of like me and you, right, Ben, where like we talk about how hard it is to just hold just a stupid conversation with somebody. Like, I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about Eric's favorite Honey Boo Boo. I don't want to talk about Kardashian. I hate all of that shit. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Right. But then like on the flip side, those people that are talking about that stuff are like, why do you keep talking to me about like UFOs and consciousness? Right.
Yes.
And then you go a step further into like Eric's position and other experiencers and their positions, and they're like just way up here, and you just can't make that connection at that point. So I can't even imagine, what you guys go through after these experiences and the mind change that happens, and then having to reassimilate yourself back into society when you don't even know what you're doing. You're literally walking blind back into society after this thing happens to you.
Well, you have to become a chameleon. I mean, Einstein himself, he didn't define intelligence by the ability to think. He defined intelligence by the ability to grasp the situation at hand, to meld into anything that you're dealing with, to be that diverse, funny, smart, caring, loving, stupid, dumb, smoking a cigarette, not smoking a cigarette, just anything of that way. And I believe he was right in his genius because, I've worked with over 3,000 experiencers. I've talked down over 200 suicides. Every day is a new number, and I'm not counting anymore. Counting is just stupid. I call it living, but I get to not only, because a lot of people work with experiencers, but they don't touch on this kind of depth because they're not aware of this kind of depth. So you're kind of bouncing it off the windshield, and you'll get, oh, I saw a craft, or oh, I freaking had this experience. But what about the inner dialect? What goes on the inside? The thing that may not be so entertaining, but it coalesces with every damn one of us. And it doesn't matter if they're in Uganda and they sleep in a grass hut. It's going to coalesce every single time. Where's the science with that? Where's the ufology with that? It's not even found, but it happens. And I've done my work long enough and gotten enough phone calls to know that if I go into a busy grocery store right now, and I'm telling this to the audience and everyone, you walk into a busy
Oh no. Oh no.
married to an experience.
Oh, he's back.
Doesn't know. Oh,
You froze for a second. Sorry, dude.
I think anytime that I share a comment, I think it lags a little bit. So I might hold off on that for a little bit. Everybody in the chat, sorry.
1 second. 1 second. From what I know personally, working with so many people, now that's working with 3,000 people. I get 10, 15, 20 calls a day that people just want to tell me a few things. But from my knowledge, there's so many people that's had an experience that you cannot be in a busy grocery store without one experiencer in there. A lot of people I talk to, they're afraid to tell their spouse. These people are sharing their bed, and they don't know that they're sleeping with, making love to, married to an experiencer. They don't know. That's how we're able to hide. And what we're hiding is really important. It's extremely important. But due to social stigma and ridicule, we're not allowed to be us. If we were allowed to be us, and I think I'm quoting Gary Nolan when I'm saying this, Dr. Gary Nolan, that's watching these genius minds fire up this Faraday cage of information. He said, oh, well, I'd want one of these people running a Fortune 500 company. I'd want one of these people in government. I would want one of these. And I did. I talked to a lady yesterday, Department of Foreign Relations. Called me up in confidence. Department of Foreign Relations. Eric, I couldn't do my job unless I had this intuitive ability. Otherwise, nobody could do this job. So, I mean, the ability to understand the next step, the ability to intuitively step into the next step for an entire company, not just yourself, and be confident with that. These guys, these are superpowers. These are literally superpowers, and we're treating these people as if they're crazy tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy people. And if the world would just let go of that for a second and realize what is really capable here, I think we could embrace the next understanding of an evolved mind, the stopping of the destruction of the human race itself.
Yeah, dude. Big Willie just said exactly what I was about to say. It's like, we always hear about this stuff being released in movies, and like X-Men is a perfect example of that. It's these people that end up having these abilities, and then they're basically like pushed out of society for being freaks when, and then some turn pretty bad. Some are still pretty good and believe in humanity. And like, it's like when you watch the movie, you're like, well, can you blame them for being assholes? I mean, look what you did to them, and it's not their fault.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then you really, that's what makes you appreciate the X-Men so much more, is that like, wow, society has completely treated you like shit, and you show up every time to save their asses, and they still don't appreciate you.
That's exactly how experiencers are, and you guys know I work with a group of around 360 to 400 people at any given time. Some of these people have gifts that will blow your freaking mind. I have a 14-year-old girl in India, 14 years old. You can put anything you want in front of her eyes. If you want to put a lead wall, put it there, and she'll read the book that you open on the other side of that lead wall. She'll read it to you, literally read it to you. And it's a book she's never read before. Her parents reached out to me because everybody else just wanted the fame and the fortune and all that stuff. And I've been working with her on the important parts of trying to learn how to deal with these things, deal with other people, how to deal with those sensitivities, when to draw back, when to push forward, how to build better relationships. She's a kid, man. Don't do this to this child. It's a baby, So yeah, I'm in a position where I want to clean up this mess. I don't get paid for what I do. Sometimes I work 25 hours a week, eat ramen noodles. I weigh 150 pounds. I could have taken the checks from Netflix. I could have taken the checks from ufology. I could have done the famous thing and all that stuff. But no, what do? I spend my time working with people I've never met before, so their lives don't have to be as hellish as mine, and it's really terrible to see the way people are treated. And the number one thing about this antenna is it carries the trait of the empath. And it's right there. You can find it in the genetic marker. We can get into all these discussions about it, but every single one of them are empaths, all of them. They feel everything all the time. You could say it's a part of the spectrum or blah, blah, blah. No, you can isolate the genome, look at the world map, and see where they're all at. But they're all empathic, every single one of them. If you find a narcissistic person that wants to be popular and make money and look at special me, then you're probably looking at someone that's faking out pretty bad. I was given a voice by my investigator, and I was ready to kill myself. And in order to repay him, I asked him that too. He said, when you're strong enough, get off your sorry ass and help other people just like you. Quit this poor little me bullshit and help people like you. And I have time and time again. And I literally won't stop because I see how many people that hurt so much every day, and they have to hide that too, guys. There's no psychiatrist there for you. There's nothing there for you. You're alone, and that's it. Your wife won't even know what you struggle through. Your own wife.
Right. And dude, I mean, that sounds like what your investigator says, that sounds harsh, right? I mean, we've even heard Lorian Fitton say it, there's a lot of times where you get experiencers, and I'm not bad mouthing or shitting on anybody who's ever had an experience, but I've been hearing more and more people say that have dealt with this for a really long time. Like you said, your investigator said, hey, when you feel up to it, get off your ass and start helping people. Even Lorian has told us, you meet so many experiencers and it's just like, poor me, constantly, not realizing the abilities and the impact that they can have on other people instead of, which that's another thing I can't even imagine. Because if something like that happened to me, I would be one of those poor me fucks. I just would. I wouldn't know how to cope with it. And that's probably why you turn into the poor me person. But that's such an important thing. Yes, it happened to you. It's happening to people all over the place. When you get to that point to where you can kind of feel yourself again a little bit, help other people as much as you can, right? Because it's not an easy thing. And everybody feels so alone.
It is a matter of character. It's not about what happens to you, but it matters what you do with it, and my gosh, I have a client in Ohio, and she's got PTSD so bad from her experiences, she doesn't want to leave the house and flip out on people and all that stuff. And, people call her crazy, but it's bad PTSD. If someone comes up and says hi, she freaks out. She's so scared of the world around her. So what forced her to make a living is race horses. And what she does is she looks at the horses. She doesn't look at the program. Numbers messes her head up. I don't want to deal with numbers. I'm going to pick the horse, and then I'm going to bet all my money on it. and she hits about 9 out of 10 every single time. And it's amazing. I'm like, sweetheart, what do you do with all this money? These are big payouts. She goes, well, I pick out my favorite charity, especially kids. I love, I don't want them to hurt like I did when I was a kid. And she said, like, the last check I saw was like $27,000. And she said, all I need to do is pay rent and get some groceries this week, so I'm good. So there's the empath, there's the PTSD, and there's the ability, all in a short synopsis right there for you. And nobody knows. Just nobody knows.
So
if we were to go for it, bud.
Oh, I was gonna say, for when I first heard the term empath, I was like, oh, somebody who can tell the future. But that's not what it means, right? It's just it's a personality, a brain type that is empath, like that experiences empathy, an overarching amount of empathy, right? Like you're not like seeing in anyone's thoughts. I guess there's like certain levels that I'm, learning about slowly. Like, but when I first heard that term empath, I was like, so you can read my mind? Like, that's cool. But that's not really what it is. It's more of a, like, there's more empaths out there than what people think. Like you react to things with empathy more.
You can
than
feel people emotionally. You can feel what they're going through. Insects, animals, birds, you can feel what they're feeling. I think there was a one point, where I sat down with Ben when you guys came to Arkansas, and I started to kind of translate what was coming off of him. Now we were all doing things, so I kind of bounced away from that. But if you were actually to see me go through an entire session with someone, now clairvoyance is very different. It runs off the same plane, but it's very different. You can use empathy to figure out where that emotion is, and then branch off and see where it's going to go here in the near future, and kind of use that antenna to feel it out.
Dude, moment that you're talking about. Oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah, but check it out. Your right brain is doing this activity. Your left brain is for cognition, numbers, letters, all these other things. The left brain has to interpret what your right brain is saying. So that's what makes it incredibly difficult. The CIA has some documents they just released where they're talking about hemi-syncing the two minds in order to make that more proficient. I don't know if you guys seen the Gateway project, but a lot of documentation's in there. It pretty much proves everything we're talking about, and a lot more. So it's in there,
dude. So I was going to speak to what you just what you spoke about, Eric. When we met you in Arkansas for that first like big shoot that we did for the documentary, and I was telling you, me and Joe had these experiences leading up to that moment. Like we had planned coming up, driving up to you to film for this documentary, and Joe has an experience with that orange light going over his house. And we didn't even discuss this. And I also had a crazy experience. Like I had this moment where I woke up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Honestly, I can't even remember exactly what time it was, but I woke up in the middle of the night and, I had that crazy experience. But anyway, so me and Joe are having these crazy experiences, and then we show up in Arkansas. Can't wait to tell you about it. And it was almost like me and Joe had this conversation, like, you had experience, but you did too. Oh, dude, we both had these crazy experiences. And it was almost like something knew that we were going to be interacting with you soon. And it was just trying to check us out. Like, hey, are these guys cool? Like, what's going to happen when these guys get together? And when we met, and we had a blast that first night, didn't we, dude? Like, we stayed up till like 5 a.m. just talking about literally figuring out the world, bro. Like, it was awesome. But when we first got there, remember I was telling you about, and you touched on this earlier. I just kind of want to describe this for anybody that's listening. Maybe they can relate to this. But when we're talking about empaths and communication, when I was telling you this story, dude, I could feel you listening, dude. And it brought up so much. I don't know, man, it was emotional. I mean, I almost cried, dude. It was intense, bro. Like, There's something to that empath thing, man.
Even remember like when we had that meeting with Shannon, and the first thing she said was like, I can't wait for you guys to do this little event here at the venue because Eric, where we shot some of the film at the Black Sparrow, that venue downtown, the lady, like that night, dude, like when she came in, you immediately like read her like a book immediately, and it blew her mind. And she was pretty cool about it. But then when me and Ben went and had this meeting, she was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that he fucking knew everything, like pretty much about me. He knew that I had astigmatism and all kinds of stuff before I even told him about it, or like, you know, all this stuff. She was like freaking out about it. She was like, I cannot believe that, because she had such a bad experience with the ghost hunter guys and the bullshit that they had pulled at her event. So she was a little bit like leery about the whole thing. But then after that interaction with you, she was like,
dude, yeah, she was like, Eric walks in and the way that she describes it, she was like, the first thing Eric said was like, yeah, well, it's hard for us to see this close up, but not so far to see it far away unless we step a little closer. And she was like, what? How did he know that I had astigmatism? Like, you didn't just come out and say, you have a stick. It was like, you already knew, dude. Like, what made you say that?
You have to be smart enough to understand what I'm putting down, man. You know, and I felt like she needed to feel more comfortable, and you know, so I went ahead and took that route. But you know, that's just a part of it. That's literally a part of it, you know. And you know, something really odd is sometimes it itself, whatever it is, chooses to look into a person way deeper than everyone else. And it's not like a conscious decision. It's just like a connection where you say, right now, I'm going to open up and I don't care who listens. But for the most part, you know, you don't want to do it. You don't want to express that. You don't want people to treat you badly, because, you know, that's what happens all the time. But, you know, Joe, like, what was it? Like 2 weeks ago, I was flying out to New Jersey, and I sent you a picture of this object. This object was there the night before I showed up to Jersey, you know, so, you know, there you have it again. But that happens to me all the time, you know. So there was objects over you guys' house, and here I am going over to New Jersey, and here's this object below the trees, a little bit above the trees and back below the trees. Clearly see it, you know, it's right there. But it was there the night before I showed up. So yeah, I mean, your assessment is absolutely right, because I've moved a lot, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, dude. Woo! I think,
and
man,
you can talk to them about it too.
It's yeah, we have we're scheduling something with Bear to talk with him to actually get him on camera, because we need to get, he's such a crucial part of the of your story, man. Like, we've got to get him on camera for sure.
Yeah, but I've saved my like way more than once, and he had my back, and wow, yeah. I mean, this guy knows me better than my own mother, you know. So yeah, if one of us passed away, this whole story would never be told the right way. You know, that's how important it is to have Bear there. You know, this guy's 6'4", 300 pounds. We call him Bear for a reason, but he's got a heart of gold, man. He is one of the most incredible empaths I've ever met in my life, and the way he uses it inspires the crap out of me. It's like, I wish I was that good. I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm cool and crafty, and I have fun with it, and that's good. Most people are like, you know, they shut down because they're different. But I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I can play with this a little bit. But Bear, being 65 years old, damn. I mean, he does stuff, and then I find out later, and I'm like, you son of a, you know, because start to unravel and find out all the wisdom that he was just messing with me with. And yeah.
You guys have like an unspoken understanding. You guys, he's hilarious. Also, like he was cracking us up.
Oh God, yeah. But he's got more wisdom than you'll ever know. You can pick at his brain and pick at his brain and pick at his brain, and he'll know what you're picking for. And 3 days later, he'll show you what you were looking for. You know, more like a shaman or a sensei or something like that. But 65 years, he's developed ways to kind of toil a person into believing in their own empowerment through these extra sensory perceptions that we have. And so I lived with him. I lived with the guy for a whole year, and wow,
dude, it was so crazy because when we were talking to Bear, man, like we would be asking questions, and you could see it on his face, and he wouldn't immediately tell you the answer, but he would say stuff like, "I think you're onto something," or like, he would be like, I don't know if you're ready for that answer yet. Like it was just very like incremental with him. But when you start like figuring the puzzle out yourself, he like releases little nuggets of gold, and you're like, oh my God, yes. Yeah. Bear's pretty awesome, dude.
That's when he starts talking to you on the level, because look, here's a really simple fact to try to understand that kind of puzzle. A 16-year-old boy and an 82-year-old man have the same vocabulary. So you can be having the same conversation, right? But the 82-year-old man has so much depth and so much more meaning than this 16-year-old kid. So how do you define the difference? And that's how he's talking to you guys. I guarantee it. He didn't tell me that. He doesn't have to. I know him. But he's speaking to you guys in a way where he's listening to you fire back and see how much you understand. That way he knows how to talk to you. It's the whole not chlamydia thing. I'm sure you guys are fine. Chameleon.
I'm sure you guys are fine. We're vaccinated. You said yeah.
Not for chlamydia.
Totally different things. So you meant chameleon, right?
Yeah.
Chlamydia 19, dude.
Yeah. If you ever try to, fit into a situation and it starts itching, I know some people to help you out.
I'm going to Bear's house. I'm going to see what he can do.
Oh, God.
Dude. So, okay. I mean, man. So, okay. I did have a couple of other questions. Okay. So we went through the consciousness aspect of the light orb that you've seen. And we didn't quite get to, I guess, in this episode. I mean, we're going to get into it in the documentary, but for those people that haven't heard your story yet, you have encountered entities of a humanoid structure. My question is do you think that this light manifested itself into this humanoid figure, or do you think it was actually this figure, this alien with or this entity? I almost like don't want to say the word alien, right? Like it's almost offensive at that point. Like it seems like
it is. I don't like alien. I don't like extraterrestrial. Maybe that's a good reference point for people to begin to understand, as they go through a journey into maybe walking in and trying to understand what this is. Maybe it's a good reference point, but don't stay there too long. Because it's, I truly believe it's much more profound than that. And it goes a lot deeper. I wish it was that black and white situation that television kind of lays out for us, the great invasion and this and that, blah, 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 whatever is instilled into your mind, just like you have to buy Coca-Cola when you grow up. But it's much more profound than that. But yeah, I look on the record, 100%, put me under a lie detector test, regression, whatever you need to do. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I've seen these things. I hate the fact that it sounds the way it sounds, but I've looked at these damn things and I know they're real. Beings, people, creatures, pick the word. I don't care. I'm not going to profess I know where they're from. I'm not going to profess that I know who or what they are. I don't know their names. I don't know anything like that. But I guarantee you, I've seen them straight the hell out. And it bothers me. I don't want that part to be a part of what happened, a part of telling the truth. Maybe I'm more credible if I leave that part out. But damn it, if I've got that part of myself that is left of me after everything has been destroyed and taken away from me, a loss that I couldn't even pretend to describe to you or anybody else in the world, I would choose that the only thing left after all of that is my own integrity. And to leave that out would be a lie, and I don't believe in lies. So, yes, I've seen them. I have seen them. And I still know less afterwards than I did beforehand. But it did trigger, a profound more of knowing than, what I had before. But whatever's flying these things, they're not pretty people. What is it? 37% say they had a bad experience, but 86% of those after 20 years turned around and said, I just didn't understand it in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
and that was done by the Free organization, correct?
Yeah.
I was involved. I was involved with them in the very beginning. Ray Hernandez called me, really freaked out. Ufology wouldn't listen to him. We had a lot of conversations. Me and Edgar Mitchell had a every Tuesday night conversation. That we talk more about philosophy than UFOs because he had profound experiences leaving Earth. So he had problems connecting to the gas station attendant and grocery attendant and even his own wife, because that separated him, completely, just like an experiencer would. So he and I kind of found that common ground, and he would always ask if I had my scotch, and I would say yes, but it was always a cheap beer or something. I couldn't afford scotch. I'm not a damn astronaut. I can't afford scotch.
I'm not a damn astronaut, dude.
I've still got 2 still reserves that belong to you in my fridge.
All right,
I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I'll have to FedEx them to you, dude.
Yeah, that's my scotch, man. Leave it alone. It's a budget. But
that strong
but
Texas Steel Reserve.
Hell yeah, brother. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but I told the Free organization the same thing I tell every organization, that I will consult. I will help out, but I'm not a part of any organization. Reason being is there is a social derivative, a sphere around organizations that literally tear them apart from the inside out. You can visualize like a sandbox and everybody pulling each other's hair. They all want to get to the understanding of this and that, but power hungry takes control. Who's lying takes control. All these things take control, and before you know it, nobody's getting the help that they need, and all these other people are fighting amongst you. So if you ever hear like Ray Hernandez say the Free organization, he doesn't say that. He said the remaining members of the Free organization. It's because him and I had that conversation in the very beginning, and it stuck with him. He always says the remaining members of the Free organization. Isn't it funny that he says that? So now that when you hear that, you can think of me, and I coached him and helped him. But what he is, I didn't help create none of that. I'm just saying that we helped influence each other, and big things happened. Just like Harvard. All of a sudden, like a year and a half, me and you guys are talking about Harvard. Now all of a sudden, there's the Galileo project popping up, and it's getting bigger, and all these things are happening. If you trace what I've been involved with, I never wanted to be popular. I never wanted to be up front. I just want the truth be told. So it's almost like going to places, making sure they can kind of follow through, and then go off to other places because you want this steady movement to happen so disclosure can kind of take place. You guys ever watch that show Quantum Leap when you were kids?
I didn't. I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
Why? I don't like it anymore.
I was too busy watching the Muppet Show. I love the Muppets.
Yeah, but you know, the show is basically, you know, this guy jumped
dude?
Well, the show is like this dude kind of jumps into a quantum accelerator, and then he jumps into like different lives and different bodies, and he can't go to anything different until he solves these problems. And that's what it kind of feels like, you know, intuitively. You end up in these situations and you want to make them happen, and everything's a positive outcome. And when you know it's going to be okay, you walk away and you have to start something new or be a part of something new. So you can influence that in the proper manner, you know, if that makes sense.
Dude, I have something to say about that. I just wanted to thank Patton for that super chat real quick. But dude, I thank you so much, man. So there is something that I think me and Joe, and I think we've three talked about this a couple of times within the UFO ufology, I guess, whatever this community has become. It's so blurred right now. Like, I don't even know what to call it or if we're even a part of it. I know we're a part of something, right? Like,
it's becoming the consciousness community, dude.
Yeah, dude. But
community.
It's ever growing. Like, man, say what?
So,
did you say I'm broke?
Yep.
Oh, yep. Oh, dude, yeah. So like it's crazy. Like the people that, like, you know, hang out in the chat, the people that are watching and listening to this show, like, dude, for the most part, like, everybody's super positive, uplifting and helpful. And, you know, you go to other shows or I don't know, some places on Twitter, and man, there's just so much ego and hate, dude. Like, it almost feels like sometimes you can't escape this human quality. We always end up ruining something, you know. Like, I feel like this whole thing started out so beautiful, and like now we all have to like kind of disperse, like find each other's little tiny tribes. Like there's so much land. Like, why can't we all just share and, you know, have a good time, man?
Everybody wants to be that guy that figures it out. You know, it's like, dude, it's not going to happen in your lifetime. You might as well give that shit up and like, let's be friends. You know, You ain't going to know until you die. It doesn't matter.
Like, it's almost like, I mean, we talk about religion a lot on this show, but like, I always kind of bring it back to religion because a lot of people can relate to it. But it's like, religion could be so fucking awesome if humans wouldn't have ruined it. Like, it would have been so cool, dude.
Yeah. Because it's almost the same exact thing we're talking about right now, just with like a specific dogma attached to it. You know, like there's specifics to it, and you got to follow these rules. Nothing can fall outside of that box. If it does, it's wrong. It's evil. You'll go to hell. You'll do this. You'll do that. But that like completely shuts down the process of thinking and exploring and understanding when you have a box that you have to stay in. And that's my biggest problem with religions or science, certain sciences and things like that, is like they put this box around stuff, and it's like, well, if I can't ask questions, then what's the point of even being here?
If you can't speculate or can't have an imagination about what it could be, then what are we, like, what's the point here? Like, are we just like, it says here in the book, it says it. No, that's the thing that another guy said, so I'm going to say that. So I will blend in too. Like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, are you just talking now? You're just talking. There's no ideas. You're not bringing anything towards the conversation.
I believe in science.
I believe in science, though. Like, science told me that. Like,
let's go with that. Like a simple question. Where does light come from?
Where does light come from?
Where does light come from?
Oh, I know this one. Electrons. Well, photons, light. The sun, but there's like so many different stars. In our solar system, it's our sun.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, is that every answer is right, except every answer is wrong. The source of all light begins in the eye. If there were no eyes in this world, the sun would not be light. The icon on your phone would not be light. None of that would be light. So the definition literally starts inside here. You being this organism calls into light, heaviness, hardness, color, all these things. So wouldn't that make you an aperture in which existence itself looks out?
Shit.
Hold on.
Yes. Hold on. Go a little further back, dude.
You said existence is an aperture? I fucking love that, dude. So
In which you look.
in
Hey,
what?
what if
Okay,
you
hold on.
were God and you wanted to study more of your own being? So you invent grasshoppers, trees, human beings, planets, all these things to have the ability to look at yourself in a different way.
I love looking in the mirror, dude. I cannot stop.
So since you're you, and
yes.
you know you're you, and you know you're you, doesn't that mean that we are we? There's no difference at all. Every single one person is a part of the same consciousness, with a different neural network and training with social engineering and commercials and all these things to tell us that we're absolutely something different. 5 cents is enough not to figure out the science and fact that we are that. So bathroom break.
Dude, yes, let's do a bathroom break.
Take a bathroom
all
break.
of us completely generic bathroom break.
We'll probably do like 15 more minutes. I do have like one more question though. So like if you want to take a bathroom break and like maybe we'll do a little sponsor thing and come back.
I'll tap my foot. Hang on. But if I get the pee dance going and I start, rocking, I definitely got it.
I thought you were saying you needed to go pee, so I was gonna pause. But if you don't, I mean,
drink. It's like all apple juice.
You drink all your apple juice, dude. So okay, well,
apple juice.
I'll drink all my apple juice too, dude.
A little low on my Franzia tonight, guys. Okay. Dude, I know I've been asking like fucking wild questions. I don't know. Joe, do you have a question before I ask one? I mean,
bro, keep it going.
Okay,
man.
okay.
I'm loving the questions and just interjecting it in the middle of it.
Okay, that's why the show.
I do have questions, but they're more like speculative questions. That we could go into, but there's not like.
Well, we don't know. We know that I don't speculate. I only say facts because I know. I'm the smartest guy. Okay, Eric, you said something interesting. You ask, where does light originate from, or along those lines? Did I understand this right? That light is actually interpreted or sensed by the brain. Like we make up light. Like light necessarily isn't a thing. Like, is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, if there's no one or nothing to perceive light, light would not exist, or a thought or an idea or a concept. So you, by being this organism, brings it into conceptual reality. So when the experiencer has an experience, the only rational thought would be to look at their external process and not their external entertainment process. This is what we've been doing wrong for 77 years, probably a lot longer. But that's what you have to look at. Okay, I know you have pictures. Okay, I know you have videos. That's great. That's fine. We can look at them another time. But let's talk about how you feel right now. What's going on inside of you? Because that is the quintessential reality itself when it comes to experience.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that seems to be the issue Keep going. Go pee, and I'll remember the question. Go pee real quick.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I'll remember it. Go for
Oh,
it.
well, you said you didn't have. Okay. Now I feel bad. Go pee, Eric. Dang it.
I'm totally gonna forget the question, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. 509, dude. Hey, I love 509, bro. I apologize if I came across as if I was like bashing religion, because it did sound like that. I respect all religions, dude. Like my family's, parts of my family are like super religious, and man, I respect it. I'm really not trying to like bash it. So I apologize if it came across that way. I think if it works, I really can't really speak on it, but in my own experience, man, like it can be definitely beautiful. Like we've talked about on this podcast a lot. Like, dude, when you're in dire need of like help, like I'll ask God, bro. Like I'll say it in my head. Like, so there's something to that. And I will never say that religion is total bullshit, dude, because there is definitely, and it's powerful, dude. And I'm not,
I always ask the flying spaghetti monster. And Dave, it's because my hair's down today. I'm not wearing a bandana, so I don't have like the contrast between up here and down here. It's all just kind of running together. I also haven't taken a shower today, so.
Hey, you know what, dude? I never noticed that. It is the contrast that makes it pop, bro, because now you bring those luscious, beautiful locks up in front, dude.
Yeah.
I'm seeing my future, my past, and my present all in your hair, dude.
It's because I have a big forehead, and so it makes the beard look shorter. But when I have a bandana on, the forehead shrinks and the beard looks longer. Yeah. Dude, it's science.
And everybody knows that science rules.
Science does rule.
It does.
Hey, I know a lot of you guys smoke weed out there, but sometimes you can't always smoke weed. So in the meantime, go check out our homegirls over at Redeemer Small Batch. And if you go buy something, put in the code UFO15, and you get like a sweet little discount over there. And I gotta say, those damn CBD smoothies are friggin' amazing. I had one the other day, and it was pretty great. It also really helped with the hangover that I had like 2 weeks ago at the lake. And
wait, you were having a hangover from 2 weeks ago?
From 2 weeks ago, I had a hangover. Yeah.
You need to drink more water, dude.
Redeemer Small Batch, baby. Go check them out. Those are our homies, man. And dude, that's friggin' awesome. I mean, the dude, I used to not even believe in CBD. I used to think that like this is just some fake weed, and I don't like it. But holy shit, the first time I ever had high quality premium CBD was from our homies over at Redeemer Small Batch, and we actually have an episode with Bailey, the girl who runs it. Yeah. Her family's from Colorado. It's all grown deliciously. And fuck, dude, it's just so amazing. UFO Garage 15. Go check them out. Pretty amazing stuff.
Hell yeah.
Also, shave your balls.
Done. Yes.
Manscaped.
UFO Garage, 20% off plus free shipping. Eric, welcome back, brother. How's your blattar?
Oh, much better. way much better.
Dude,
I do not spot, every great once in a while I'll take a puff or two, but my God, do not listen to what comes out of my mouth if I'm under controlled substance of marijuana.
Oh, dude. I love you, Mary Jane.
Dude,
Eric, I wanted to ask you really quick, dude. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show and talking about what I saw out in Sedona. But have you ever seen one of these low visibility things?
Yeah, translucent, bigger than satellites. Sometimes a blue hue.
That's fucking exactly what it looked like.
What?
Yeah, definitely.
I had never seen one. I had never even thought to look for one or see one. And dude, the other day when we were out in Sedona, I saw one, did a fucking angled turn. It was wild. It was pretty interesting. Nobody else thought it was cool.
Was it more translucent toward the center and more lucent on the outsides?
Yeah, dude, it was like really like almost see-through through the middle, and the outsides were like kind of a whitish color, and it was not the dot in the sky that you see. It had like a friggin' shape to it, like almost like a little eggy kind of shape to it, and the outsides of it were a lot more visible, and the inside of it, dude, if I wasn't standing there like with Hawkeye vision, like just looking up at the sky, you'd never even know that it was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even spot it.
So the outside ring had more of a bright white, but as you go inside, it's got more color like blue, but you might catch up more colors in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. See, you didn't describe it as good as me, damn it. But
I didn't. you described it way better.
Do better, Joe.
Do better. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but when they get closer, it's more of a solid look. But if you think of the I can't think of the name of it, but the toroidal energy system that would work around a high electromagnetic field would make the center at a distance, not up close, but the center at a distance look more elusive than the outside, because the denser energy is going to naturally be around the outside source, but the center is going to have more color because the spectrum of the electromagnetic field is going to change colors on you. And those particular spectrums have different jobs, and they do different things, and they make different colors through frequency and all that. So it's really fascinating.
Dude, yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's kind of cool to have an explanation for it.
This might sound off topic, but did you guys see there was an article, I think I posted it to the UFO Garage podcast group, but it was this time lapse that's been taken over like the past 10 years of this supernova that happened like 30 million years ago. And you speed it up and it's like, and it looks really fucking cool. But like, it happened 30 million years ago. The light just reached us because the star was like 30 million light years away.
It's already gone.
It's been gone, dude. It's like, goodbye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye. Shit. Bye.
Eric, let me ask you something, dude. Man, I've been hearing this from like just people. What are your thoughts on this, dude? Is space fake? I know it's a stupid question.
Is it the firmament?
Dude, I don't believe space is fake at all. But like, dude, it's just something that's been popping up more and more and more. I figured if anybody would have some kind of reasonable answer, even if you do think it's fake, it'd be you. So I figured I'd ask you that question, which is not the question I was going to ask earlier, and I forgot, even though I promised I wouldn't.
The CIA has a possum, well, we call him a South, excuse my language, but shit-eating grin every time they create one of these disinformation campaigns about the earth being flat, or come up with all these things, especially ufology, fake crashes, fake this, fake that. And, essentially it's to build up your excitement, just to let you down. It's a good way to do that. So when the Eric Mitchell story comes out, it's a build up and then it's a letdown again. I'm sure it's going to be attacked plenty of times. And that's the, that's the disinformation. That's how, all these campaigns are in the CIA. That's how they control, all the information, so is space real? I mean, look, I literally love Dr. Edgar Mitchell. I looked up to him. I loved him. He was involved in a lot of things he'll never talk about to anybody. Even if he was alive today, he wouldn't talk these things. But we had our scotch and we had our conversations. One big thing, and I'm going to get in trouble for this right now. I mean, people are going to throw rocks at me. let's watch this in action. I will get attacked sometime tonight and probably for weeks after. He told me about sitting in a vehicle with Admiral Wilson, okay, Department of Foreign Technologies, the #1 man in the United States that's supposed to know about UFOs, did not know about UFOs. Okay, there was a scribe in the back seat, and Stephen Greer was there for about 20 minutes. He was hungry and went and got a hamburger.
Eric Davis was the
I love
scribe,
hamburgers,
right? Wasn't he?
Huh?
It's in the Wilson document, right? Eric Davis, he's the one that took the notes, or was he?
Right. Okay, so that came out, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if
So that
anybody's
came out.
curious, you can look up the Wilson documents. And Eric Davis has also kind of been in the fluff lately, you know, as being the one who quoted that we have craft not of this planet, which
Right.
could, I mean, you know, we're all just, I mean, we're all speculating here, right? But you know, that's one of those like CIA things, or like, you know, those high level dudes, you know, who may be scientists. Who you're talking about, like theoretical physics working group or the aviary, whatever you want to call them, right? Like these are people that are.
But I'm not
involved with that.
speculating here. You know, me and Dr. Edgar Mitchell, we got smashed, and we would have deep conversations he couldn't have with anybody else. I couldn't have with anybody else. So we kind of, you know, grafted to each other for that one outlet in life where we can, you know, have that conversation. And, you know, he did talk about that. And years, you know, 2 years after he passed away, here's ufology. I don't pay attention to ufology. I'd rather look at botany, symbiotic circles, philosophy, you know, all these things that make sense in the world. What is existence and what drives them? You know, let's, you know, look at genetics. Let's look at neurological patterns. Let's look at real, you know, these things. But ufology seems to be caught under an umbrella of entertainment denial, crush, new entertainment denial, crush, over and over and over again, until it builds a bunch of cynical people that doesn't even care anymore. And it's working. It's working very, very well. But, you know, he and I we had some brief conversations about that. Not because I was interested. I was not interested with him speaking with Admiral Wilson, or someone writing down, you know, the information. I don't care about that conversation. But, you know, if I got drawn into ufology, I'd be attacked in every different, you know, manner possible, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a hungry hippo of just trying to feed off of this negativity. But I do know we had several conversations. It did happen. It didn't happen in a skiff. It happened in a vehicle. They sat down, they had this conversation, they left the vehicle, it was over. But what they were saying and talking about was true. It did happen. But like, I have so many people asking me, like, you know, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, blah, 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 you know, just being scolded, like, slow down. He was a friend. I lost him. You know, ease up, man. It hurts my heart every time I hear Rocket Man on the freaking radio. You know, I lost somebody I really cared about, you know, and when you're somebody like me in the world, I just get attacked. You know, it's like, you think I'm going to run off and date? You think I'm going to have a decent relationship with someone that actually cares about me, that is willing to put up with the crap that I have to deal with? You know, the sacrifice that I have dealt with, to tell the truth, it doesn't matter if I make $1 billion. It'll never come back to me what I've lost. And, you know, money, the hell with it. It comes and goes. I'm not out for money. I'm not out for fame. I hate the camera. But, you know, for people to attack my friend that is dead, you know, for being a liar, man, I can't stand for that.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Stand for that. You know, I really can't. You know, to say this man didn't do the things he did after him waiting for his wife to go to bed, and him waiting to get plastered, and he, you know, hid that from everybody just so those feelings can come out to someone that understood. And he's going to sit there and cry to me and lie to me about that space mission? No, guys, no. Those feelings came out. Those were real. And if you can't recognize that, man, put your heart back in your chest and do something with it, with your life. Because, you know, if you can't recognize that kind of thing, you're lost. Your feelers are burned off your little head, because you don't know. You got to get back to the truth. Stop being socially engineered by all these people that want you to believe things, man. Use your heart and find the truth for yourself, because it is out there. But BS is overabundant. And man, I just get sick of it, man. I really do.
Yeah, I bet, man.
He's an American hero. He's a decent man. He never asked for any of that, man.
Right.
He didn't.
Right.
But is space real? Is space real? Let's leave Dr. Mitchell out of this. Everything. No, wait, no. I'm gonna keep going. Everything in the universe, everything that's confined on Earth, confined in the galaxy we live in, and even further away, operates on two systems, on and off. As I'm speaking to you, the space in between my speaking defines my speaking, just like space defines that there is no space when there's Earth there. So they define each other. We have a solid object defined by space itself. We have solid words defined by space itself. Look at botany, look at quantum physics, look at every science that you've ever seen or ever known, and you're going to see the same phenomena in there. You can see the golden ratio, you can see the number sequencing. It always imposes a space on and off systems. So, it's not just even being in space, it's discovering the confines of existence itself that tells you there has to be space in between all these things. It's how the universe works.
It's a beautiful answer. It's a beautiful answer, dude.
Look at my brain on screen. I'm kind of an insider, bro.
I have looked at your brain on screen.
Yeah,
I have. Oh, also, sorry about the photos that I sent. I sent Eric, dude. I scared the shit out of Eric. I was sending him the X-ray photos, and I sent him some photos that we were sent by a doctor that were an example of something that were non-related. It was not Eric's skull, and Eric was like, "Holy shit! Do I have a?" Anyway, it wasn't his skull. Sorry for scaring you, dude. My bad, bro.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's not something bad about. I mean, no. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Can I just?
It was like 30 seconds. I did cover it. My bad, dude.
Do you know?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you know what 30 seconds of a cardio really feels like? I'm looking at my brain going, I'm a goner. I'm dead.
Oh no.
That's it. It's over. I'm looking, I'm like, this is my brain. I'm a dead man. And
yeah.
Thankfully.
You know what I just thought of is like, earlier when you said like possum grin earlier. That's what I thought of. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh god.
No, wait. Hold on. You can share screen. You can show the artist rendition of the caudate putamen and basal ganglia.
Oh shit! I gotta hack into the mainframe. Hold on.
Enhance.
Yeah. Hey man, guys have to see this. So if you walk it, and 2% of people that talk about alien abductions and what happened to me and this and that, they're actually full of it. 2%. That's what I find. And it is contributed to two types of mental illness. That's going to be number one, of course, schizophrenia, and number two, borderline personality disorder. I have found no other disorder that will cohere itself to this subject. But I've also worked with a psychiatrist and everything like that when it comes to this situation. So, here we go. So you see the dull side? That is literally the common folk, the everyday person running around, buying groceries, football, honey boo boo, all that stuff. Now you see the crest.
Sorry, I'm opening up in a different window. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't mean to blow up the possum.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, hold on 1 second. 1 second, dude. My bad.
You got your new ID up there?
Yep, dude. If that happens
we're-
again, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh, we were doing such a great job.
I know. I know. Hold on. Hey, bullshit for a second. Let me pull it up. Sorry.
Just click
All
the
right.
same button you clicked the second ago.
So
No, I'm gonna save it and open it as an actual photo
Okay.
instead of
yeah, so we just saw this like Faraday cage coming off this human mind between the caudiputamen and basal ganglia, and this is like a movie antenna, like a radio receiver. You know, the biggest argument right now of consciousness with PhDs, the smartest minds in the world, is consciousness obtained within the mind, created and produced by the mind, or is it received from somewhere else? It's a great argument. But what we're seeing here is that it's both. It is literally both. The regular consciousness is just normal, everyday person. And then you see the experiencer. Which one would you hire to work at your brokerage firm? You know, which one would you literally say, I need you to take over, you know, this position? And, our company will be financially okay. Because what this thing does is it fires up and intuitively tells you the right answer 100% of the time. Where the average brain does have this stitching, but it has none of the veracity that you're going to find in the quintessential experiencer. So, yeah, man, thanks for pulling that up. It really shows the incredible difference. So next time you want to call someone crazy after having these experiences, keep, for lack of better words, and I'll grin, keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. And I want to pull up my possum image really quick. Oh, that's not a possum image. Okay, that's me. Dang it. All right, I lost it. All right, I'm going to show my license in 3, 2, 1.
Oh God.
Man. Yeah, so that's a powerful visualization of this thing, man. It's something that I feel like we're just scratching the surface of understanding all this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would. So what's the
Yeah, academically.
Sorry, I guess my question was like, what's the end? I can think of a couple of really awesome end goals, but just to kind of close out the podcast, because we're kind of ending, getting towards the end there, or here. But what's an awesome scenario we can end up with this information for humanity? I guess the future of humanity, knowing this information.
Well, for humanity, we are literally looking at the most evolved minds in the world, the most evolved minds on the planet. And what's stopping them from flourishing in our ecosystem is a social stigma built by corporations that want, control over all these things. So, we can study ants, we can study plants, we can study all these ecosystems and how they, generate and help each other. But we at the top of the food chain, or so as we thought, there is a particular mind that needs to be acknowledged and help spread and grow. Without that, we're not going to survive our own stupidity at all. I mean, who do you want to vote for next election?
Nobody.
Is it going to be somebody like Nancy Pelosi, or is it going to be someone like Dalai Lama? And, so take your
Vote for
pick,
Dolly
but choose wisely. Yeah, at least you'd have something to look at.
She knows how to manage assets. That's for sure. Sorry, Eric. We just ruined your beautiful answer.
Yeah. Way to take. It's the most serious point in the world. And answers are under the case study. We are sexually attracted to each other. We are intellectually attracted to each other, and we do not even need to speak of experiences. We are like natural selection. We're drawn to each other. You put two of us in a room, 30 people that are just regular, and we gravitate toward each other immediately, and dating starts to begin. So it does, seem to pertain to a natural selection. And on a personal note, wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm not going to go further into that. No.
I love it, man.
I'm sorry. Sometimes our jokes are ill-timed. Eric, you're on our show. We're good. We're great friends. And for you guys that are actually here on the show trying to, find information, like maybe the show did give you some stuff, but man, this documentary, I hope that we're going to be able to, we're not like joking in this documentary. Like it's totally
it's zero jokes.
It's totally off brand from UFO Garage because we're not fucking, we're not silly. And it's like, it's actually very different than what we normally do, man. And we're actually trying to get this information out there. And man, I'm just so happy that you picked us to help you with this. And like you said earlier, Eric, it's not about money or fame or anything like that. It's literally just get this stuff out there. Like that's the whole point. Like that's it, dude. Like that would be cool if we could do that. Oh, I think he's
guys. Hey, well, I'm going away.
Well, you just froze through that whole thing, dude. Sorry.
Dang it. We lost you, bud.
People, as soon as a new documentary, this is another cookie cutter, blah, 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 yada, yada thing. And it's
oh, we're on a.
Yeah. People, the way this works is we're all froze up.
Dang it. Okay. So
yeah, you just froze up.
We're frozen now. There might be a lag.
Yeah.
Why does this happen to the most important parts?
I know. It's like the most important part.
This is the climax.
It always does.
It's like getting a blowjob and then she gets up and walks away right before you fucking finish. This is terrible.
Oh,
people
that's so cruel,
are literally gonna, see a new.
Shit, man. Eric, we're losing you, bud.
Freezing so bad right now.
We're freezing real bad. Internet connection is bad. Let's see. Can we what can we do?
Want to show the trailer?
Eric, hey, I'm gonna try to join. I know we're running low on time, but I want you to have some final words. So I'm gonna remove you and try to join back in if you can hear me. Okay. Hopefully he heard me. Okay. Trying to come back in. Maybe let's show it after because it's
yeah, we'll show it after Eric leaves. It would kind of be like our little closer.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Well, while I find the StreamYard link and invite, and here we go. That's filling up some time. Me explaining what I'm doing. We are so professional.
Manscaped.
My balls are so slick. How about like, dude, I'm like trying to show some brain stuff and then like, here's a photo of me. How'd that get in there? It's like me naked. It's like oh, oops.
It's like you did it on purpose.
Douche. Okay. All right. Eric's back in.
Okay.
Eric.
Hey, I got booted off.
Okay. Well, we're back. You were free. You were frozen. So I figured maybe we try again. And cause we got to get your last words, brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are going to fall under the social engineering of here's another, I don't know, documentary that's going to say the same stuff over and over and over again. And I'm sick of it. I'm not going to watch it. So they immediately just turn down, and it's worked for so many years. And yeah, there's a lot of This is not going to be
Dang it.
one of them. How the hell?
We're glitching out, bud. Dang it.
You know, we don't
made it so
have
far.
the communication that we should have, but it's going to be full of information that's going to touch a lot of people.
Okay, we heard that part. That was awesome.
Yeah,
There's just like a.
He's
Let's
doing
see
it
the
on
trailer.
purpose.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see the trailer.
Okay. Yeah. I think we heard the most part. Hey, yeah. Sorry, it was glitching out a
See
little
the
bit.
trailer.
Okay.
There he goes.
I didn't know. I didn't prepare for this, so let me show you my license. Let me show you my driver's license really quick.
We can hear you now. That's good. Yeah. Oh, dude. I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's the government. They've been trying to shut us down all night.
Every single day.
That's that government cheese. Got that government cheese.
Government cheese.
You're going to
and
cut your
bread.
food stamps.
Okay, hacking
All right.
the mainframe here.
Ben's looking through the entire world's internet right now.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's see if I can pull this off. Ladies and gentlemans.
I think you can, dude. I believe in you.
Hold on. Everybody give me some positive energy here.
I'm
And
about to kick you in your ass if you don't hurry up, dude.
while I show you my driver's license and 4K resolution.
Positive ass kicking. Yeah. That's what my coach used to say. There's a positive ass foot in your ass. I've had too much Kool-Aid.
So ass.
All right, so I've got to do it in Chrome because it can only be Chrome. They can share the audio. Share audio tab. Yes. Okay. Share audio. Okay.
Oh, you're one of them Safari people, right?
Fucking hell. No, I'm not. But I just don't want to show my all my like quick tabs and all that stuff. It's like it says income and like
Chrome and StreamYard don't get along.
All right, hold on, dude. I'm almost there, dude. I'm almost there.
You're good, man. You're
almost there. I'm hacking in the mainframe.
I mean, everybody's still
still in the
hanging out, dude.
Declaration of Independence.
You feel it?
I did it.
Hell yeah!
Shit!
Here it comes. In 3, 2.
Okay, how do I make that the only thing we see? There we go. Okay, adding us back in because I can't hear you guys. How do I make that the only thing? There we go, baby.
Right.
Okay,
here it comes.
Are you ready? And
play.
I'm kidding. I was faking like I froze. Okay.
That was great. I liked it.
How do you even register the fact that this kind of thing is going on? Your brain puts it, if you're a healthy person, your brain puts it into denial.
2 billion Earth-like planets out there. The chances of having humanoids with advanced technology far beyond ours, I would be willing to bet 100%.
I mean, anyone watching this, you have experiences. If you have ET experiences, you're not alone.
Knowing that it happened, you're at war with yourself all the time.
You're so far advanced that this stuff that we do doesn't really have any place in your existence.
And has nothing to do with math or science. It's everything to do with consciousness.
Gives me chills, dude. I love it.
It's actually my pug playing the drums in that track.
I like it, man. I like it.
It took a long time to train her to do that.
That's fucking great.
So
Good, man. It's great. I'm so excited for this, man. And I know that, you hate the camera, and this is not at all like, you didn't ever plan for this to happen. And it literally is something. But I think the most important thing that you've ever said about this whole thing, man, is the fact that, like you said it earlier in the show, if something ever happened to you or your investigator, the story would never be told. And there's such a stigma about people telling their stories, for the whole limelight of things. But I'm ready to cross the bridge of that being full of shit, because now people's minds are starting to change and they want to hear these stories. And I think that this is such an important step. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is going to be a huge step, not just for us, not just for this documentary, but I think in the future, this is a big step for everyone, really paying attention and really soaking this all in and taking it serious now.
Yeah. I mean, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. You're good.
All right. Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, we could joke around and have a good time. We always do. But when it comes down to the serious stuff, I mean, I still want to joke around. It's gallows disorder. Look at Robin Williams. Look at all the people that have suffered for such a long time. And the only light they can share inside of them is the humor they have to deal with it. Now, let's go ahead and light a match and say, okay, there's not enough science. I've seen these jerks say there's not enough science behind it. Okay, so what I do essentially is the same thing a science does with microbes. I can't see microbes, damn it. I don't have a good enough piece of equipment. So I'm going to drop a little acid down and I'm going to study the gases that come off of that. And those gases seem to be the same thing every time. So I know I'm dealing with the same thing every time. That's what happens when experiencers call me. And until philosophy, psychology, sociology, and everybody gets off their ass and does their job, especially the DOD, they're not going to know what they're looking for. They can't find it unless they drop some acid on it. They're not going to be able to see the symptoms and dig deep enough into the quintessential experiencer to find out what they're suffering from. They will not show you. They will never show you until they're comfortable enough to open up and access that part of their brains and show it to you. It's a comfortable thing. You have to be comfortable enough to do it. And, that's why I work with all these people, so they can feel like they're not alone. They think they're alone in all this, but they're not. And, essentially, yeah, this project that we're doing has a lot to do with me, but it's not just me. It's all of us. And if all of this reaches the millions of people, instead of me doing it day by day, hour by hour, and getting thinner and thinner, maybe I can rest a little bit. Maybe I can watch a television show or get a hobby, whatever that means. But it's a powerful thing, and it's not a cookie cutter documentary. It is a heart that needs to hit home, and you guys have surpassed my expectations with any of that.
Yeah, we told you we would show up with an iPhone or two, and then we showed up with
kind of surpassed our own expectations. Honestly, man, we're so excited about this.
Yeah,
you guys showed up with a $10,000 camera that said electromagnetic field disturbance. That's what you showed up with.
That's all Nico, man. Nico really made this thing like top-notch quality. Our buddy and director Nico, he really just did. He took this idea, he believed in you and your story, and me and Joe, and just he wanted to be a part of this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what we're trying to do. It's like, dude, everybody's got a project, right? But man, this has been it's been a roller coaster. I'll be honest. But holy
Yeah.
crap, man,
Yeah.
I have never been more like proud of something that I've been a part of in a like ever, honestly. Like I'm so excited about this, dude. I'm stoked.
You guys have blown my mind. You really have. And I hope to do it back. And I promise you I will. And,
Hell yeah,
You know,
man.
Nico, that poor guy, you know, he looked at me like 3 times during filming, turned off his camera and said, dude, are you a fucking magnet? You know, like he couldn't get
Yeah,
his
yeah.
equipment to work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
but you know, that's the kind of thing, that is the very kind of thing that happens to experiencers. You get around electronics and it's like everything goes haywire. And especially when you're going through these emotions. So, you know, it's a very important thing to know. You know, any experiencer that's listening, shout out, guys. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know, there's no BS to it. But electronics, I mean, look, we've already talked about 30 hertz instead of 7. You know, you're already beaming at more electricity than the average human being. So it's bound to happen. The science is coming through. Be strong with yourself, meet other people like yourself, man. And the world's going to change, not by a bunch of, you know, sociopathic, narcissistic people that want to own the world, but people that are chosen by a vibration and frequency at 7.38 hertz through your own DNA, chosen by God knows what, to make you an empath, to make you open to being contacted.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we gotta wrap up the show tonight, dude. But Eric, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, man. You kind
A
of
lot of
saved
love in the chats, dude.
Yeah,
a lot
a
of
lot of
love,
love's
man.
coming through, man. And thanks for saving our butts. I know Michael, we want to get his story on, so we'll have to reschedule.
Yes.
But appreciate you coming in early, brother.
Yeah, we gotta have Mike on there, man. He's, you know, the first time I met him, he couldn't even speak, you know, and this man he's incredible. You know, you've got to speak to him. You've got to really dig into him. I want to be on the show with, you know, just to kind of dig with him, you know, because he's opening up and he's learning his own, man. And I can't say much right now, but there's things in the future that will, you know, kind of put the spotlight on him. But you guys have an awesome night, man. I did. Thanks for hanging out. But,
dude,
man,
it's great catching up with you, bro. It's been a while, and every time we feel like every time we talk, we're like, hey, let's do this thing that we have to. Come on! So it's good to just chill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, scientifically speaking, in the future of all of what we're doing, it's going to kick ass.
Yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir.
We're gonna party hard.
That's a great way to end it. Scientifically, it's gonna kick ass. What we're doing. I love it, dude. Hell yeah, man.
All right, Eric. Well, hey, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Love you, man.
All right, love you guys. Take care.
Peace, bro. Love you. Bye, dude.
Turned out to be quite the banger tonight, dude.
It turned out to be very bangery.
Yeah, it did, man. That was awesome.
Bangers.
Man, I mean, yeah, dude. I love Eric's story. I love Eric, man. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited about everything that's happening. I mean, the just you know, the stuff that he has to say, man, I think is important, and I'm excited to just help him share his message with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the most simplified version is like, dude, everybody has seen some shit. This is what I've come to understand. Like, everybody knows somebody that has seen something. If you haven't seen something personally, you probably just blocked it out, dude. Like, you've seen some shit that you can't explain. You're just like too afraid to tell anybody for like 10 years, and you forgot about it. And then all of a sudden somebody says something that like totally lines up with something that you saw, and then your mind's like, hey, remember that thing you saw that was exactly like that, dude? That's what we're going to go through. I think as this time goes on, as the stigma has been dissolved, and I mean, it's a part of culture now. It's always been a part of culture. It's just always been stigmatized. It's like,
Patton says, I noticed in the trailer, Ben and Joe were the only ones with red Solo cups.
It's because it was full of acid, dude.
we were We were probably the most drunk people.
Yes. Chad Smith. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for that super
dude.
chat, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Hell
bro,
yeah.
I've got to pee so bad. I'm
Me
kind
too.
of starting to dance over here.
Me
So
too.
you want to wrap this one up?
Let's wrap it up.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, dudes. Well, dudes and dudettes, ladies and gentlemen, thank
Love
y'all
you
so much
guys.
for joining us. Love y'all so much.
Hell yeah.
This has been
Another episode of UFO Garage.
We've literally never done that way ever.
All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all later, man. Good night, everybody.
Peace, y'all.